We have a sorry. All right, let's try this again. We have a video here from the armed fisherman. Please like, share, and subscribe. This video is used for entertainment and educational and fair use only. Thank you.
Monday, March 27, 2023, 14:42 and 02 seconds.
Clearwater Police, this is Melissa. This line's recorded.
Melissa, it's really annoying when you call the police department for them to give you the whole spiel and then for them to transfer you and then have to start all over again. By this time, there could be like a serious situation between the gap of making the statement to the first person and now to you. But in any event, like I just told the girl that answered the phone, I'm down on Clearwater Beach by Pier 60, and some guy just walked by with a fishing pole in one hand, and he's got an assault rifle around his neck, and he just walked northbound or southbound, and now he's out on the pier.
Okay. Do you know what he's wearing?
So I don't know if it's legal to walk around with an assault rifle looking type deal, but he's out on the pier. He's got a sun hat on, a tan sun hat, and a t-shirt, blue t-shirt, maybe green, whatever. But he's out there. What you'd like to know? Are you there?
Yeah, I have some more questions if you don't mind. How long ago did you
I really do mind. But go ahead.
Well, sir, I'm sorry that you called the wrong number and you were transferred. I'm trying to help you.
So how is it the wrong number when I Google Pinellas County Sheriff's Department? It comes up and it says call.
Okay, because
who the hell did I call? Aldi?
Okay. You called the sheriff's office. We're not the sheriff's office. We're the Clearwater Police Department. Pier 60 is in the city of Clearwater, which is under the Clearwater Police Department jurisdiction. And that's why.
All right. Well, in any event, can't you take care of it and do what you got to do?
Yes, I can, but I need to get a little more information
from here. I'm from Buffalo.
Okay, sir.
All right. I gave you the information. Take care of it.
Is he a white or a black male?
I'm sorry?
Is he a white or a black male, Asian?
He's white.
How old is he?
How old is he? Maybe 30s.
Okay. Did he say anything to you?
No.
All right. Would you like to leave your name and number?
No. Guy walking around on the Clearwater Pier with an assault rifle around his neck and a fishing pole on the other. I think that should be clear enough.
Okay. What color was it, sir?
All right. What color was what?
The gun.
Black.
Okay. And you don't want to leave your name and number?
Let me ask you, is it legal to walk along the beach with an assault rifle? I mean, when I say assault rifle, that's what it looks like.
Okay, but...
Is it legal to do that in Florida?
If that's what it is, then the answer is no.
Oh, well, what could it be if it looks like a machine gun or assault rifle? What else could it be? You know what I mean? Is it a paintball gun? I don't know. Don't look like it. But you know what? There's a lot of beach police here. Maybe you can call one of the guys just to have them check it out. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Before he starts shooting everybody on the pier?
Okay, sir.
Right out loud. All right, bye.
All right. This video is brought to you by Here's the Deal. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment and educational and fair use. Thank you.
Curtin County, Oklahoma sheriff. Hey, have you ever heard a sheriff plot the murder of 2 journalists? I hadn't either until now.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that were very quiet guys. Yeah. And would cut no mercy. Yeah. In Louisiana, because it was all mafia around. Yeah. Don't say that, you know.
Goes around.
It will. I told you it will.
Yeah.
I know where 2 big deep holes are here, and
I got an excavator.
These are pre-dug.
Welcome to Idabel, Oklahoma. Population about 7,000. Here in Idabel, not only will McCurtain County commissioners and sheriff's department personnel protect and serve the gristle out of you, they'll even provide free funeral arrangements for you, including excavation services to dispose of your body at no additional cost. A newspaper reporter, suspecting county officials were holding illegal meetings, left an audio device running at a county commissioner's office after one of those scheduled meetings. That recording captures the McCurtain County sheriff and others discussing beating, killing, and burying 2 journalists in Idabel. They also discussed beating and caging African Americans and doing other disgusting things. Stay tuned because you'll hear the unbelievable recordings in a couple minutes.
Here's the deal.
But here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
And here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Because here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Either give me your ID or you go to jail. How about that?
Catch me outside.
How about that?
How about that?
Here's the deal.
Pursuit of a master heading south on 3 Points Road.
McCurtain Gazette publisher and reporter Bruce Willingham said his recording proved that there were secret meetings taking place, but he really didn't expect to hear what else was said on those recordings. He says county officials began talking about beating and killing him and his son, Chris. He claimed that on the recordings we're about to listen to are Commissioners Mark Jennings and Robert Beck, along with Sheriff Kevin McClarty and Sheriff's Department employee Alicia Manning.
I was breathless. I couldn't believe it. I was expecting it, chitter chatter stuff about county business and stuff. And that's how it started. And then it got down to the extremely serious stuff.
Willingham says county officials began talking about beating and killing him and his son, also a Gazette reporter, Chris Willingham. He claims on those recordings are Commissioners Mark Jennings and Robert Beck, along with Sheriff Kevin Clarity and Alicia Manning with the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, but the thing of it is,
We actually told the truth.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that were very quiet guys.
Yeah.
And would cut no mercy.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, because it was all mafia around.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah, but here's the reality. If a hair on his wife's head, Chris Willingham's head, or any of those people that really were behind all that, if the hair on their head got touched by anybody, who would be the bad guys?
Who's
Yeah.
blamed for?
Yeah. What they really don't know is
And that's the thing about it. 20 years ago, I would have done something like that. I know 20 years ago, I was in a political position.
they're insignificant in my life.
Yes.
Really, they bring.
Don't say that,
What goes around.
It will. I told you it will.
Yeah.
I know where 2 big deep holes are here, and
I got an excavator.
these are pre-dug.
Willingham says that he thinks he's being singled out and targeted about unfavorable stories about the Sheriff's Department, including one from last year when Eagletown residents hogtied a man who was caught burglarizing a city business. When McCurtain County deputies arrived, they tased the hogtied man, who then died in Sheriff's Department custody.
We asked some questions about that. They refused to give us any records at all initially. We've now gotten everything we've asked for, but we had to file a lawsuit to get it.
In the audio, they also discussed barbecuing body parts.
On a bark body, we wrap it up tenfold to preserve the body and stuff like that. And we got all the body parts and stuff like that. And Kyla was out there too.
Oh, the body part. Oh, she come apart.
Yeah, just the bark bodies.
No, I know. I picked up on
And
They really
Got-
fall apart when they're burnt?
and yeah,
And
Yeah.
you never had barbecue?
that's another.
Yeah.
Same. I'm hungry.
Kyla looks at me.
Glasses
And they got her wrapped in a handful, put her in a body bag. Kyla goes, "You do know what we gotta do now, right?" And Faith goes, "No, what?" She goes, "She got to preheat the oven 350 degrees, leave her in there for 15 minutes." And she went, Bless her. It was, and then the medical examiner asked her, he said, "Hey, we're just going to eat." And he looked at Faith, she goes, "You want to go with me and go eat barbecue?"
And then they bemoan the fact that it's not like the good old days where you could just grab a rope and take care of some black folks.
Realized, like your job, I heard the other day, said, I heard 10 or 12 people go to the sheriff. I said, fuck, let's get 20. They don't have a goddamn clue what they're getting into.
Oh, yeah,
Not this
because
day and age.
but everybody.
I'm gonna tell you something. It was back in the day when Alan Marshall take a damn blackjack, whoop their ass and throw them in the cell. I'd run for fucking sheriff.
Yeah. Well, it's not like that no more.
I know. Take them down here on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope.
Yeah.
But you can't do
And the
that.
thing about it is,
They got more rights than we got.
Terrible. Terrible for our county.
Idabel Mayor Craig Young says as a citizen, he will ask for the elected officials involved to resign.
That's your protector, who is the sheriff of our county, who should be protecting folks and caring about human lives.
We tried to call Sheriff Clarity, but he did not answer. However,
Bring him up!
Commissioner Mark Jennings did.
I don't know. I'm not going to make any comment, and that's all I've got to say.
When you get officials talking about burnt people and hanging people and digging holes and all that kind of stuff, it is what it is. It's hate.
Apparently, all the files have been turned over to the FBI. Governor Kevin Stitt said in a statement, quote, "I am both appalled and disheartened to hear of the horrid comments made by officials in McCurtain County. There is simply no place for such hateful rhetoric in the state of Oklahoma, especially by those that serve to represent the community through their respective office. I will not stand idly by while this takes place." As of this recording, many are gathering in Idabel to protest. All of the officials heard on the recording are being asked to step down from their positions. Asking people who seem to have conspired to kill two men to simply step down is not something that would have happened to you and me. But then again, we're not officials with qualified immunity.
Hey, Erm, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, bud.
We'll keep you updated as more information comes in on this case. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. And don't forget to subscribe to the private email list through the website, highimpactflix.com. That's highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design that you can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug,
Here's the
whatever you
deal.
want. We'll see you in the next video.
All right. This video is brought to you by Redacted. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment and educational and fair use only. Thank you.
The United Nations says that we should decriminalize all sex and drug related activity in the name of human rights. This includes sex with minors, and they want you to be able to poop on the street. Is that what we consider progress for human rights? What about your right not to live in a place where we traffic minors and poop on the streets?
Can I move to that place?
It is not your right,
the-
apparently, to live in a place like
Minus
that.
trafficking the minors, I wouldn't mind not having to look for a bathroom all the time when I really got to go, just out driving around.
So,
Just pull over and
I mean, I think you can poop in the woods. Do that. I don't care. It's good for the soil biome.
But just don't do it right in front of the 7-Eleven when I'm going in to get a Slurpee at 11 o'clock.
But do you want to live in a place where people poop on the streets regularly where you need to walk?
No.
I
don't want people leaving their dog poop on the street. Pick that
Okay.
up too.
Exactly.
You know, Michael Schellenberger makes this great argument in his book San Francisco, and I'm going to talk about this more later, but that Harvey Milk really became famous not because he was the first openly gay mayor, and openly gay was not a big deal in San Francisco during the age of Harvey Milk, but his big platform was that San Francisco residents need to pick up their dog poop on the street. This was a big problem. No dog poop on the street, and he was able to really make this a big platform and become famous because of it. And then also he was flamboyant and openly gay. But now we've come full circle that sort of the corruption inside of San Francisco is such that people do pick up their dog poop and also allow human poop.
Like they'll pick up after their dogs while they're going number 2.
Well, I don't think the same people are
while
doing
I'm
those
down
things.
here, I'll just relieve myself, but I'll pick up after you, Grover.
But there's a tolerance for human poop and an intolerance now for dog poop. So let's go through what the United Nations is saying about these human rights. And what they're trying to say is that if you criminalize things like sex and drugs, it's racist and it's against human rights. It violates people's human rights. Okay, that's a nice thought that we don't want to criminalize people for things that maybe shouldn't be criminalized, but we're going so far in the other direction now that there is no longer a consensual age, an age of consent for minors is what they're saying. So, whatever, 4-year-old, do it. And there is no way to criminalize. I don't know if there's another word for this. I didn't go too far down looking it up, but do we still call them pimps? People who make money from selling other people's sex?
I mean, you just did.
Is there a more forward word for using?
Is there a new, like a Biden administration approved?
I think it's entrepreneur
word?
now.
Entrepreneur.
I know.
I was going to suggest.
Public schools.
Yeah. I was going to suggest unconventional entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Unconventional entrepreneurship. Yes.
Okay, by everyone, if I use pimp. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Me.
I'm
Okay.
I'm down with
Is
that.
there any YouTube terms of service against talking about pimps?
I don't know. But
Okay, I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Not yet.
The United Nations thinks it's a-okay that you do it, so I'm going to assume that YouTube thinks so too. Okay, this all comes from the United Nations organization called UNAIDS. It was a report that was released on March 8th, Women Day. Here's the cover of the report, and it's sort of a best practices suggestions for international communities on how to police or not police conduct associated with sex, reproduction, HIV, drug use, homelessness, and poverty. Also, of course, there's some gender identity thrown in there for good measure. Here are the frameworks that they say that they're talking about. They want to basically talk about, these things: sexual reproductive health, consensual sex, gender identity, gender expression, HIV non-disclosure, drug use, and homelessness and poverty. Now, it's a very strange document. And I'm going to skip straight to the most strange thing. The most disturbing is Principle 16 around consensual sexual conduct. They're saying that pretty much no consensual sexual conduct should be criminalized. It's same sex as well as different sex relations, consensual sexual relations between trans or non-binary people, all kinds of combinations, premarital, extramarital. No criminalization of sex, period. With respect to the enforcement of criminal law, any prescribed minimum age of consensual sex must be applied in a non-discriminatory manner, meaning we sort of take into account that persons under 18 can make decisions about engaging in consensual sexual conduct and their right to be heard. There is no age limit here when you read through this. So, I can see how maybe you don't want to send someone to prison for life for having sex with a 17-year-old when they're 19. Okay. But 7, 12, 4, right. No age at all.
If they can decide their gender and to be on puberty blockers and stuff like that at that age, then why not? These decisions that these kids are going to be able to make are going to keep expanding to, like, they want to get married now all of a sudden, they want to live with somebody, like it's just further going to expand.
Well, they want to go into debt. They want, give a 4-year-old a credit card. That's sure.
Well,
Let's do all of that.
You and I were talking about this. You and I were talking about this story in the kitchen, and Miles, our 12-year-old, said, "Daddy, what's a minor?" What is a minor? And I said, it's you until you become an adult at age 18. Until then, I'm king, she's queen, and you do what we tell you to do. Right? And I said, so we rule the roost until you're an adult, then we kick you out. And he said, what if I don't want to leave? I'm like, I don't want you to leave either, buddy. But you know what I mean? Like once you go at 18, you're an adult legally under the law. Like we know that that's when you can serve. That's when you can serve in the military. That's when you can go to war.
That's
right?
when you can vote. In Europe, that's when you can drink. Even though we know the process of
What's good for Tommy Erm? I didn't get the meaning of that comment there. Could you explain, please?
demyelination, I think is what it's called, is the process of full maturity of the brain doesn't end until 30. But I guess the United Nations thinks that we should take into account the consensual conduct of minors, that they can decide and they can say for themselves. So I can see how 17 and 18 is something that could be considered. But now they're saying decriminalize completely all age groups. I don't think I should have to make an argument why that's problematic.
Well, and that's what the LGBTQIA plus stands for. There's actually maps now, which are minor attracted people, and they even have their own flag.
Yes.
Which just blows me away.
Yeah, but they're definitely not generally accepted in the LGBTQ community. They're just like that's them pushing themselves in there where they're not generally there's no reason to think they will be.
Right. These groups, I mean, LGB and the TQIA plus have diverging platforms. And we've been making this argument for a really long time. But they want to make the argument that that gay is queer and queer is the.
Well, for me, I just think it's sad what they're talking about. Sad, sick, and disgusting. And I can't understand how they think it's okay for people to have sex with kids. I just don't understand that line of thinking myself. But what the hell do I know? Obviously, not much.
Then something you can apply to all manners of deviance, for lack of a better word. Now, the United Nations says that criminalization of sexual practice is unduly leading to torture, arrest, discrimination, and removal of human rights. In fact, they say by criminalizing anything really in general is problematic. Here's their introduction saying criminal law is among the harshest of tools that we have, and it ought to be last resort. Basically, like criminalizing everything is last resort. It's bad. It's taking away human rights. This document, which I do recommend you read and let me know how you feel about it. The UN is saying that it's important to be free to express whatever sexual act you'd like and not be, criminalized for it. But it is not your right to not have someone express those acts on you. So if you're the victim of a sex crime, too bad for you. Someone else was free to do it. That was their freedom to do it to you. It's not your freedom to not have it done to you.
So this is just going to be like a society full of flashers. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're deciding whose rights are more important. The victims of sex crimes? No, not important. The sexual perpetrators, their right to do those things is more important than my right to not be abused sexually.
Like when I was a kid, I was at the Berkshire Mall with my friend Ben.
I don't know where you're going with this, but oh yes, I do.
And it's an important story. And I've heard this from other boys, who my age, who have had similar stories to this. It's happened to a lot of boys that, it's like embarrassing to talk about, but let's talk about it. So my friend Ben and I were at the arcade at the Berkshire Mall in Reading, Pennsylvania, our favorite arcade. And we're out in the food court area and going to the bathroom. And this guy, and we're like, I don't know, young. So we're like, you listen to authority figures. I thought he was a security guard. I didn't know what he was. And he's like, come over here, guys. And I don't know what he was doing. He waved us to the bathroom. And then he wanted to try to show us stuff, if you know what I mean. And we both were like, let's get out of here. And we hightailed it out of there. And we ran out. We did not go back to the arcade. And then we ran and looked for a security guard. And we told them what had happened. And the security guards were like, let's go right now. Like, and they mobilized to like go find this creeper, you know? And I don't know if they ever found the guy, but
Well, that was a human rights abuse to him.
yeah, like apparently I'm not allowed to be offended by that.
No, you're not allowed to not see that. You have to.
Oh, I should have had to stay and watch.
His rights are to do it to you.
Yeah, I mean,
your rights are not to have that not done to
I
you.
give up in society.
According to the
Riley
United
Gaines-
Nations,
Oh my God.
that should not be criminalized. As it is right now, voyeurism and exhibitionism is illegal in most places. The United Nations doesn't think that that's a good thing. Here's something else they advocate is what I want to call the Jeffrey Epstein clause. The UN says that no one should be arrested, not just for sex work, buying or selling sex work, but also for pimping sex work, because we didn't agree on a different word. So yes, the exchange of sexual services for money or goods, totally fine, whether you're buying or selling. But look at the second paragraph. Criminal law may not prescribe the conduct of third parties who directly or indirectly for receipt of a financial or material benefit under fair conditions. What are fair conditions, first of all, of sex work? Let's put a pin in that. They can't be punished for facilitating, managing, organizing, communicating. Basically, all that stuff's okay. Like, you can pimp out people for money. You benefit from it. So you can see why I'm calling this the Epstein clause. Like, so, G-Max and her crew should not have been prosecuted. Her human rights to traffic people are more important than the traffickees. Pimp's rights, I guess. This seems to be part of a growing movement that sex work is work. This is something I've seen a lot online, that people are taking to the internet and calling sex work a good, hard, honest day of work, and calling out anyone who thinks that maybe someone should want something different from themselves. They're calling it like turf and racist and classist. Like, if you say that sex work is exploitative, you're out of touch because you're classist and elitist for saying those things.
Right.
But think about who is saying this. People who are not sex workers are saying this. Disenfranchised sex slaves in Africa and Asia, they don't take to Twitter and say, it's my right to be trafficked, right? Who's speaking for them? Right now, criminal law is speaking for them. It's supposed to be illegal. The UN is making the case that they shouldn't have those rights. The abusers instead should have rights. The UN also thinks Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say really quick, that's going to make Bill Gates happy. He's no longer going to have to refer to them as dinners. He can call them what they are.
These dinners with Jeffrey Epstein and
Well,
his
also,
group.
can I ask you this? I've seen this people say a lot in the chat. There's a sort of normalizing of like this sex work now, this idea of OnlyFans. Like when we were asking for like a new name for pimps, and a bunch of people said, the new name for pimps is OnlyFans.
Okay.
So maybe there's like a normalization of it, right? That, you can't ban these people. You should absolutely, this is a day's work, a good, honest, hard day's work. And that's what you should do.
To various degrees. It has now become that if you speak out for someone to maybe not want to do sex work, you are out of touch and elitist. And so, yes, there absolutely is this normalization of using up people's bodies as commodities.
Right.
And so about drug use, the UN thinks that no drug use should be criminal. Here is their bit about that. Not possession, not purchase, not use, not holding any of these kits, not seeking out health services for drug use. Nothing about drug use should be policed. So it is not only your right to do drugs, it is not your right to live in a drug-free place. Meaning if you live in a neighborhood ripped apart by drugs and violence, too bad for you. There should be no law enforcement or government trying to make that not the case. Now, again, I want to refer to Michael Schellenberger's book, San Francisco. He talks about how when you do not criminalize drugs, you end up with a lot of people dying on the street. That's their right, I guess. According to the UN. It's not your right to live in a place where people don't die on the streets of drugs. In fact, in one study, he found that if you do not force people to get clean, but you just give them houses, they do stay in the homes for the duration of the housing experiment. But the twist in this data, and this was done in San Francisco, is that giving people houses did not reduce the rate of deaths because they were allowed to continue to be on drugs. They just were in a house. There were 37 deaths out of the 199 participants in the control group and 33 deaths out of the 224 in the experimental group. And so it was so surprising that people who are not asked to get clean don't get clean and just die in a more comfortable place. They still die. They just maybe die slower, or they die inside instead of outside. Is this the outcome the UN wants, just to let people OD themselves to death as a human right because of body autonomy? And the resulting communities where people live and then have to, be addicted to drugs. Well, yeah, they say you should be able to poo and pee on the street because, you've cultivated this drug addiction, possibly sex addiction too, and you should not be criminalized for engaging in life-sustaining economic activities in public places, such as begging and panhandling, vending, hawking, or other, even hawking or other informal commercial activities involving non-contraband items, or engaging in life-sustaining activities in public places like sleeping, eating, preparing food, washing clothes, or it says even urinating and defecating in other public spaces. It sure does seem to me like the UN is in favor of social collapse, does it not?
So that's what I want to ask you here at the end of this, which is, again, when you see a story like this, you're like, oh my God, these progressives, they're ruining everything. They're driving us into the ground. But maybe I ask you this, isn't it part of the plan? Because if you think about what the World Economic Forum wants, they don't want us to work out of the house. They want us to work from home.
Right. You're this is the theory of like why they're doing this on purpose.
Right. Are they doing it on purpose? That's what I'm throwing it out there. Like, because why? It's scary to leave the house. You want to go down the street in Chicago right now and go get a burger? Watch out for Jesse Smollett. You just walk all the people that are walking down the street right now in Chicago, in San Francisco. Do you want to do that? Because I can work from home. I don't have to commute. I can stay. I can do all of this remotely. I can have everything taken care of for me because it's scary out there. And this is a way to sort of force us more inside.
I suppose.
Well,
that's
if
one
you,
theory.
I don't know, Natalie, if when you were in San Francisco, if you drove by the Tenderloin district, but if you drive over in the Tenderloin district in San Francisco, this is pretty much what they have done. They have made drugs legal. They give them paraphernalia. They give them everything they need. And people are just laying on the streets. They're breaking in and stealing stuff. Like but nobody is doing anything about it. They've removed police power. They've removed all the things that can keep people from doing that. And so there's a reason that they're doing that. And so it obviously has to be what some of these people want. Otherwise, they would be doing something about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about why. What Michael Schellenberger calls the homeless industrial complex, because there is a lot of money, competing money, government money, your money, going around to different competing organizations. And there's law enforcement, and then there's homeless advocates, and they don't work together. And, they are incentivized to not solve this as a problem. Why would the United Nations want this to feed into the homeless industrial complex? Why would they want to dehumanize human bodies to the point that it would be socially acceptable to have consensual sex with a 10-year-old? I don't know. I mean, this feeds into sort of my theories about transhumanism, is just like break down the entire human experience in order to that maybe seems like a leap. I don't know. There's so many whys here. Why remove the age of consensual sex? Why, allow people to do drugs to their own detriment, to the detriment of them and the people around them? Why, I think of like little old ladies who are living in communities where they've raised their families that are now drug infested and full of crime. And we're like, well, sorry, old lady, we're not going to help you because it's their rights to do these things around you. I don't know. I really don't know. But this is a real document. The United Nations really thinks this. I really feel like I'm living in a clown world. Let us know what you think about it in the chat.
It is amazing
I got two questions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's amazing. The most amazing documents of this, the most amazing things that we cover here on the show don't come from like weird out of the world places. They come from the United Nations.
Yes.
on their website, or the World Economic Forum on their website. So people can say, oh, this is tinfoil hat stuff or whatever. No. Go read what they've spent months putting together and researching and deciding that this is the publication they were going to put out. And no media will cover this, but we're covering it here. Go ahead, Philip.
I buy the same products you do, only I get them much cheaper. I save hundreds of dollars a month by doing this once.
I was going to say, I have two questions on this. One is like, I wonder how long it will be until somebody comes out and says, no, this wasn't supposed to be released. This an intern did it. And the other one is just to bring up some of the images again, but why the hell are they decorated with barbed wire?
I was wondering that too.
Who uses barbed wire as like your graphic design choice?
Yeah, look at the
from the UN?
beginning of
It's
it.
so bizarre.
Can you go back to the
first one.
cover? It's like a sort of, chubbier woman of color with gray hair, and she's locked up for I don't know what this is supposed to represent.
I do. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, she's in shackles,
For being
like homeless. She doesn't have clothing. She's unkempt, but she's also then wrapped in barbed wire because she can't just poop wherever she wants. So this is the last thing keeping her from her freedom.
Yep,
her
I got
ability to
barbed
wash
wire all over me because I can't poop where I want.
Like the barbed wire.
So
is
many
keeping her.
questions.
Yeah.
So many questions.
I have one more question from our chat room on YouTube. One of our chatters asked, so will they cancel To Catch a Predator? Remember the famous show? Was it an NBC show or ABC show?
Yeah, that's racist and
Chris
classist.
Hansen?
And
Chris Hansen, yeah. To Catch a Predator. Where they built the whole
canceled.
Oh, did it get canceled already?
No, it's huge
that was
on YouTube.
quite a while back, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Why
the
would
old versions of it, but the actual TV show got canceled. I can't remember what there was some big to do about their last episode that they ended up getting canceled. That was years ago.
Yeah, but he does them. He still does them on YouTube. But the TV show is no longer around.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. I mean,
human rights violation.
Yeah, I mean, by this definition, who do we prosecute then?
Nobody.
There's nothing left really to prosecute.
Do whatever you want.
If you
just do whatever you want.
It's their right to express their
It's all allowed.
We'll go after you. We'll go after you and track you. We'll do that. Who do we arrest?
Gun
Well, that's
possession.
what I was
If you
just
don't
talking
pay your
about that on
taxes.
the.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with the Fed Now system. It's like the Restrict Act. I mean, so in the Restrict Act, they'll be able to know every transaction you make, and if there's something that they don't want you to buy, like we were talking about limiting how much gas you can buy, that they don't want you buying these magazines. These magazines.
They don't want you picking up your poop worm. They want it laying all over the place.
Yeah,
Damn it.
and you won't have cash because we're getting rid of your cash. So
exactly,
we'll be able to track every transaction you make. So how are you going to make this payment? We'll ban crypto, so we'll use our crypto 2.0, which is this new digital currency. Crazy stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted.
All right, we got another one up here. This video is also brought to you by Redacted. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use only. Thank you.
Has the Biden administration been lying to you about the Ukraine war? Well, it turns out not just a little bit, but a lot. Maybe a better question to ask, though, is how badly has the Biden administration been lying to you about the Ukraine war? I guess like on a scale, like a sliding scale.
Like how long is the Pinocchio nose?
Right. We already know, we know it grows, but how long is it?
I read a quote this weekend in the book that I just told you about, the Scott Horton book, that the first lie you tell in war is to yourself, which is great. It's a great quote, right? Because if you're supporting war of any kind, thinking that another human being has to die to solve a conflict, you're telling yourself something that most human nature fundamentally does not believe.
Exactly. That's a great one. So
you all can die!
Ukraine is moments away from a big spring offensive. They're going to topple Putin. They're going to retake Crimea, and democracy will be saved thanks to a bunch of recent Pentagon document leaks and new reporting last week by journalist Seymour Hersh. We know the opposite is actually true. We know that Ukraine is the most corrupt government in Europe. Ukraine has been stealing millions of dollars from you, U.S. taxpayers. That's undeniable now. And the documents show Ukraine cannot win this war. And further, U.S. troops are in Ukraine and have been. Now we have confirmation of this beyond just some leaks from government.
Oh,
officials.
we don't have
it's in the
nobody
Pentagon's documents.
nowhere.
We know this to be true. But other than all of that bad news, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the theater last night? Was it still good? Were the actors any good? Well, it turns out even the acting in this war has been awful.
If the freedom to dream were a spear, I proudly present a human being who tonight represents that spear's most honed tip.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of the 80th Golden Globe Award ceremony, the award was won at a special time.
Awful. Awful. So even the acting.
I mean,
is
do you
bad
hear
in
how
this
low
war.
the applause actually was? It really wasn't as much as you would think. Like, oh no.
Yeah, that was the famous "just the tip" speech.
So over
who's the butt of the spear of willingness to dream or whatever it said? I want to know who the other end of that is.
The butt.
I mean, the American people are right now.
American taxpayers are the butt.
Yeah, because once you hear what I'm about to tell you, you're going to feel that way. So bend over. So over the past few days, something we've never seen before started happening. The American news media, specifically the Washington Post, started revealing the identity of the 21-year-old U.S. military airman who leaked the Pentagon documents in an online forum. And that's not just surprising, given that the Washington Post, of course, is an arm of the CIA. But what is surprising is how quickly the arrest came. Ostensibly, the CIA gives the Washington Post his identity. They write a story about it. And then within 24 hours, he's arrested. That's how this works. Here's the video of 21-year-old airman Teixeira being hauled out and walked backwards towards us and handcuffed and marched away. If that's not amazing enough, the Washington Post doing the bidding of the CIA, a New York Times reporter then publishes a tweet saying, "See, this wouldn't have happened if the leaker had given us documents. We could have protected his identity here at the New York Times." Almost like a threat. Hey, because you published these on a Discord forum, that's not the New York Times, because you published them there, instead of calling us over at the New York Times, the bastion of journalism, this is what you get. You get arrested. Let that be a lesson to all of you future whistleblowers out there trying to keep us out of World War III. Don't just push this on a Discord forum. Call the New York Times. Don't publish this yourself on your Substack. Give it to the team at Redacted. No. You need to talk to the New York Times to have your identity protected. So Biden administration's John Kirby says the American people have no right to know the information that this guy leaked to you. Watch.
This is information that has no business in the public domain. It has no business, if you don't mind me saying, on the pages of front pages of newspapers or on television.
Oh, really?
Because it undermines our ability to lie to you about the lie in Ukraine.
Who do these assholes think they work for? I mean, seriously, like we have no right. It's like we are we are who gives you the right.
They know who they work for. They don't work for you, and they don't work for me. They work for the deep state and the military-industrial complex.
They work for weapons.
I saw a great political cartoon this weekend, which showed a whole bunch of tables set up, and there was each table was like a person sitting there, and it said healthcare, and the person had an empty plate. It was like people waiting at a restaurant. They were all sitting there with empty plates, like waiting for the waiter to come around. And all of these little tables, healthcare, schools, education, like all of these things were empty, right? And then the one table that had all the fat cats, and there was just coins and dollars pouring over the table, was the military and military industrial complex. They know exactly who they work for.
But here you see two major establishments being decapitated, the mainstream media and the military industrial complex. And they're both now working together to help each other keep their heads on, right? So the military is saying, you didn't need to know this. And it undermines our ability to use the press to tell you what we want you to know. And you see the media saying it should have come through us. It undermines the lies we want to repeat from the military establishment. So therefore, we need to undermine the sources. So then we will make their lives unsafe because it pulled the rug out from the both of us. The both of us are in bed together. We don't like that. So we're going to punish the whistleblowers.
Right. And it is interesting, right? Because if we're holding this guy to this standard, this 21-year-old, right? This is the new standard now, where the CIA outs you in the newspaper to the Washington Post, then they swoop in and arrest you. Should we also then arrest the sources who leaked information in Seymour Hersh's latest report? So Seymour Hersh out with his new jaw-dropping article.
Well, let's just, before we get to this for a second, remember a couple years ago, there was this big whistleblower who went to the New York Times to talk about how Donald Trump was just a big baby. That was the whole story. Just that Trump was a baby. There's no adults in the room. He doesn't read his briefings and he eats nothing but fast food.
Right.
And it was someone who said they were senior in the administration. I'm going to the New York Times to let you know that he's not an adult. He's not capable of making decisions and he doesn't pay attention and he doesn't study, basically. And the New York Times went to bat to protect this person, this senior source, and they swore that this was in the public interest for us to know that he's a baby, that he's immature and he's a baby, basically, right? And so look at how the entire establishment got behind that whistleblower, wasn't outed, wasn't arrested, worked inside the cabinet, presumably. I don't think we ever did know. We had some conjecture about it. That's in the public domain, according to this establishment.
Mhm.
But this, that we are being led into war with lies, is not.
Right. No, that's Trump being a baby or not wanting to hear what you have to say in a meeting is arguably more important.
Yes.
Like that's what they're telling us.
That he
likes eating McDonald's. I like eating
far
McDonald's.
more people are dying because of these lies and these leaks than just Trump being immature and being a baby. I think that it's pretty easy to quantify that argument.
Yeah, I would think so. So let's play that same scenario out with the Seymour Hersh article then, which just dropped a few days ago. His jaw-dropping article points out how the CIA knows that Ukraine has been embezzling tens of millions of dollars from U.S. taxpayers, stealing from the money that we've been sending. They're aware of this. They know it, actively know it.
It's
not like they can just play dumb or cognitive dissonance here. Hersh has this nugget in his article. Quote,
that would never
what
happen.
is also unknown, what he means, what is also unknown, he means like, we don't know this because it's not been publicized or released in the press. What is also unknown, he writes, is that Zelensky has been buying the fuel from Russia, the country with which it and Washington are at war. And the Ukrainian president and many in his entourage have been skimming untold millions from the American dollars earmarked for diesel fuel payments. One estimate by analysts from the Central Intelligence Agency puts the embezzled funds at $400 million last year, at least. Another expert compared the level of corruption in Kiev as approaching that of the Afghan war, although there will be no professional audit reports from the Ukraine war.
How could they ever say our government would use money for something it's not supposed to? Such conspiracies.
Zelensky's been buying discount diesel from the Russians, one knowledgeable American intelligence official told me. And who's paying for the gas and oil? We are. Putin and his oligarchs are making millions on it, he said. Wow. Excellent journalist Glenn Greenwald joined Howard Kurtz yesterday to talk about these leaked papers. And I always love his take on how the media's response is to these types of reports. Watch Glenn's reaction when Howard Kurtz asks him if the Washington Post has a legitimate news story here for having revealed the name of this 21-year-old have outed him? Like, does the Washington Post, isn't this in the public interest? Now, I know Howie Kurtz is a very smart man. I used to work with him for many years. I think what he's doing is he already knows how Glenn's probably going to answer this question. He's giving him a great question here. So isn't this in the public interest? The Washington Post says it's in the public interest to reveal this leaker, this Pentagon leaker. Watch Glenn's reaction.
Stay alert, America. China's 100-year war to defeat the U.S.
The day before the arrest of Jack Teixeira, the Washington Post reported that the documents were posted by a young gun enthusiast who worked for the military on Cape Cod, shared his stuff with a chat group, and you accused the paper of doing the bidding of the U.S. security state. Isn't it a legitimate news story?
No, it's the job of the FBI to catch people who leak classified information. As a journalist, those are the people we cultivate. Those are the people we rely on to do our jobs. Every single day, Howie, the New York Times, the Washington Post, NBC News, Fox has stories along the lines of senior officials told us X, Y, and Z, and they claim that this information is classified. The difference here is that this person didn't give this material to the New York Times or the Washington Post, and so bizarrely, they went on a hunt to find him and out him. And even the New York Times military reporter said, although he deleted it, ironically, if he had given the documents to the New York Times, we'd be doing everything to protect his identity instead of exposing him. I think it's incredibly bizarre for media corporations to unearth sources and leakers.
Well, that's the paradox, but let me just sort of test this here. Are there no leakers who you would say it's legitimate for the press to try to expose? And what if it was somebody who was anti-American and wanted to jeopardize military people? What if it was somebody who took money from a foreign country to expose nuclear secrets?
Right, but the irony here is that the New York Times and the Washington Post in particular have been using these documents from the very beginning to do all kinds of reporting, which means implicitly they recognize these documents as being newsworthy and journalistically valuable. This is not a case where, say, troop movements or the names of covert agents overseas was disclosed. The government always claims people are endangered when their secrets get out that they don't want leaked. That's not this case. The fact that we're all talking about the contents of these materials proves that they're journalistically newsworthy in the eyes of the same media outlets that tracked him down.
Right. Yeah, there's maybe like one or two circumstances where I think maybe that if you're a news organization and you get a call from a government official to not publish something, that would be, hey, today is June 5th. I heard that you got some information that tomorrow on June 6th, we're going to be launching a little something we call D-Day. We'd really love for you to not publish that. If you could just be so kind.
Yeah,
because a lot of Americans will die if they think that we're actually landing at Calais instead of this other spot, not at Calais, right? Like, can you just hold off on that? Give it 48 hours. And I promise you, maybe we'll give you a good one-on-one interview with Ike,
Sure.
After that.
Yeah.
That maybe, or yeah, that's about it. Like that maybe, or troop movements that would literally lead to the death of thousands upon thousands of people. But this?
No, they do the opposite. In fact, again, the book I was reading, Scott Horton's book, showed that the media had exculpatory evidence that the lie about the Iraq War and troops on the border of Kuwait was in fact a lie, because they had intelligence from satellites from the Soviet Union at the time. And the media decided not to follow up on that story and not to publish it, and to go forward with the Bush administration's lies about the attack on Kuwait in order to attack Iraq. They do the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's the frustrating thing is, like, if you watch the mainstream, all you're seeing is them go after this kid. If you watch like our sources and stuff, everybody's going after the information. Like, this is important information. It's like, and I'm waiting for the narrative to come down that somehow this is linked to Russia.
Well, I just saw in the chat one person, Linux Master, there's always one, right? Drops a chat. He says, do you guys have dual citizenship in Russia? I just laugh my ass off. I've never been to Russia. I would actually love to visit Russia sometime, but I've never been there. And no, we do not have dual citizenship anywhere. So no, we don't.
But it tracks with a lot of the reporting that we've been doing here about how the United States is feeding us lies in order to support the conflict in Ukraine, and making us somehow forget that Ukraine was attacking the Donbass since 2014. we've known this because we've been reading about it and we
Our
remember,
government
and
would
we don't
never
just get social media cred
lie.
for putting Ukraine flags up all around our show. But, you know, I guess this might be surprising to anyone who's been sort of blindly supporting the U.S. narrative.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like we were in the airport, Gatwick Airport. There was a young man who worked at an electronics store, and me in electronics, I was hanging out there while we are waiting for our flight, and he saw my camera and he was talking to me about vlogging and video stuff. He's like, "Oh, do you do any videos and photos and stuff?" And he was a great photographer, and we were chatting. And I said, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" And we cover geopolitics, and the Rumble channel we cover geopolitics. And then he's like, "Oh, what's your channel?" He looked it up and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "this is not a small channel." And I'm like, "Well, thank you. I appreciate that." And he said, "I can't believe how many people don't know what's going on in Ukraine, the truth about it." He's like, "People don't know to look back to 2014." And I was like, "Yes, young man, like there's a bright future. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome." He's like, "My dad told me, to really do my homework and understand like what happened in 2014 in Ukraine, to understand that this is a US led proxy war." And that like, yes, there are smart people out there.
Yeah.
Who just spend a
But
little bit of time reading
and
the
it goes
books,
back, it goes back to the 80s and the 70s, like the whole Cold War. Like it's all related. It's like
Yes.
one long continuous drama,
Yeah.
and so it's like all these little bits thrown in there, but you can keep tracking this back to World War II.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right
And
about
good
that.
luck finding a kid that age in this country that would have that conversation.
No, I see those videos in Times Square where they interview people. They ask them who the vice president of the United States is, and they can't answer it. So, anyway, Glenn Greenwald also draws a direct connection to the famous Pentagon Papers, which
We have a
showed
president?
just how the
Since when?
U.S. war in Vietnam
Vice
was never
president?
going to end in victory.
Where?
For the United States, but the U.S. government continued to lie to the American people straight to our faces how it was doing in Vietnam. This is a great parallel. Watch.
The leaked material says Ukraine is in a much more vulnerable position in fighting the Russians in terms of vulnerability, running low on ammo, than the Biden administration has publicly proclaimed. Does that bring to mind the old Vietnam War phrase, credibility gap?
Yeah, I mean, remember, the reason Daniel Ellsberg leaked the Pentagon Papers was because the U.S. government was telling American people that they were winning the war in Vietnam, but privately they were saying there was no way for them to win. The most they could hope for was a stalemate, and he felt compelled to show the truth. Very similar in terms of what the documents reveal, and that it not only shows the Ukrainians losing, at least more so than the government admits, but also that the U.S. government has special forces deployed on the ground in Ukraine, which I think is something, if we're going to do, we should at least know about first.
Yeah, I do think we should deal with.
Imagine that, right? Wouldn't that be great to know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, some of us did, right?
Right.
we kind of been pointing that out for ever since it started. So,
but guys,
Yeah,
I just
I think we brought it up about a year ago.
Yeah. So, guys, I'll just sort of ask you here. I'll throw this out as like a collective question for everyone here in the chat. Everyone can comment and leave us a comment as well. Like, is this the new standard then for mainstream media journalism and whistleblowers? Like, when we hear information that we know to be very important to the American people, in the best interest of the American people, we've been lied to about a war in Ukraine, about money that's being wasted, that a war that's not going to be winnable, by the way. U.S. troops in that country. Wouldn't that be nice to know? U.S. troops in that country. You've been lying to us, lying to our faces about that. And by no reporters in the press corps seem to ask that question, right? Why do they never ask that question? Or specific troop numbers? Like, can you please tell us? Like, we were told no American troops were going to be in this war. Why are there American troops in Ukraine?
Right.
Is this the future of journalism now, where we're going to out whistleblowers in newspapers?
Unless they just have something to say about Donald Trump being a baby.
Yeah, I guess.
In which case we protect them, life and limb.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, according to like modern journalism, though, that's not a journalistic question, because you're not supposed to know that. So they can't ask those questions because they're not supposed to know about it to begin with.
I suppose.
So you can't ask follow-ups because the Pentagon say, well, you shouldn't know that. So
yeah,
don't talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we've got more news to get to here on your Monday.
Well, I do want to just point this out, though, because I think it's interesting to talk about how Russia is responding to these leaks and what is the substance of the leak. So what we do continue to learn from them is just how deeply involved the U.S. is in this war and how badly it's going. For example, this, according to Politico, is that Russia is jamming U.S. smart bombs in Ukraine The documents do say, and they were corroborated, that American-made smart bombs are falling victim to Russian electronic jamming in Ukraine, causing them to miss the targets. This sort of means that despite Zelensky's promise that his army doesn't really know what they're doing, he says they do, but they don't. Says the weapons have experienced higher than expected dud rates and have missed their targets on the battlefield, according to this source from a U.S. official. Now, another official says, of course, that they think it's just that, like, it's not the problem with the Ukrainian army or the missiles themselves, which we have been reporting that the equipment's not great. It's faulty, it's old, and the Ukrainian government doesn't know what to do with it. No, they said instead it's Russia jamming the missiles, which makes me want to make a baseball reference, but this is serious, so I won't. Now, you would think that Russia would be kind of happy about this validation because it shows what they've been saying all along. The U.S. is involved. The U.S. is provoking this. The U.S. is preventing peace. But Russian expert Gilbert Doctorow, author of the book Does Russia Have a Future?, reports that Russia is not at all happy about this. Here's how he puts it. Says the Russians are not at all pleased with this situation. It strengthens the argument on their side by those who say that insanity rules the USA, that you have to be prepared for every eventuality in escalation of the war, which just shows that there's no fun in saying I told you so when you realize that your enemy is as ruthless and as crazy as the Joker.
Yeah, you just want to see it all burn.
Which is our side,
All these
right? Like
conspiracy theories. I can't believe these people are spreading this.
Instead of arguing about who the leakers are, we need to argue about the substance and say people are dying here. Maybe we're not for this.
You know, it's like when you look at the Nord Stream pipeline that the United States blew up, like everyone like jumped and said, "Oh, it was Russia," right? And Russia just sat back and said, "Clearly, it wasn't us." We call for an international investigation. There were U.S. ships in that area at the time. Please look it up. It wasn't us. Why would we blow up our own pipeline? You would think that a terrorist attack of that size would. How does the United States respond to terrorist attacks?
Yeah.
Right? We saw that in Iraq, right? So we know how we respond in that situation. What has Russia done to respond to the Nord Stream pipeline attack? They've asked for an international investigation by the UN, and
That
the UN
voted it down.
and the UN voted it down.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yes, crazy.
They went batshit crazy.
We're the crazy uncles of the world right now.
I love Dogfather 1968 on Rumble says he calls those smart missiles tilapia missiles. I don't know why, it just made me laugh. Tilapia missiles. They're not
I don't
smart.
get it.
Well, they're not smart missiles. They're just like, I don't know, like flopping around. Like, I don't know. Just the image made me laugh.
Okay. It's like a filler fish.
Yeah, like a filler fish. Yeah.
Okay.
So it kind of, I don't know. It just made me laugh.
Alrighty
Anyway,
then.
thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and.
All right. So I hope you all enjoyed that video. We got another one queued up here, little off topic. This video is brought to you by Chad Tyotis. Let's see what they have to say. Please like, subscribe, and share to their channel. This video is used for educational and entertainment and fair use. Thank you.
We're here at the Clinton City Municipal Building today. We are joined by Ty, the man himself. We're here to do a little First Amendment audit of the municipal building and the surrounding government buildings. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any suspicious activity going on in these vehicles here that I can see. Oh no, I definitely don't need your help, brother.
City Hall's closed. You guys need to please leave.
It's closed.
Yeah.
Isn't this a Tuesday?
The City Hall's closed. Can you guys please leave?
Why is it closed, man? What
It's closed because of COVID still. We don't have it.
open.
Walked right
in. Should have been locked. I'm sorry. But can you guys please leave?
Is the police department closed?
Nope, their doors are down the hallway.
Can we just?
Nope, you have to go outside and go around.
That seems a little bit ridiculous if we're
No,
already
sir.
here. No.
Nope, because City Hall's closed.
Okay. It looks so open to me, man.
I didn't even see any signs out here.
Yeah, it
That's
says
posted. It's posted on the
it
door.
says
It's closed.
8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Doesn't say anything about closed.
It's on the signs out the door. If you want to check outside and look at the doors, it says it's closed due to COVID.
All right, man. Well, I didn't see that, to be honest, but if it's open, if the door is open and the business hours are 8 to 4, it's open, man.
And we'll
There's
figure
nothing
that.
we can.
We'll
All
talk
right.
to the.
Sounds good. Get that figured out then for sure,
Yeah.
brother.
Please leave.
What are you doing, man? You stepping in front of me?
Yep, City Hall's closed. Please leave.
It's open.
No, it's not. It's closed. It's closed because of COVID still.
Dude, COVID's over. I don't, we're not doing this whole thing. COVID. Dude, everyone's here at work. Hours are posted on the windows. It's open. The door's open.
Well, we'll find
It's
out
open.
why the doors were unlocked still.
All right, well, that's for you guys to figure out. It's not
Yes.
really my thing, dude.
Please leave.
Dude, you're trying to look. I'm just going to tell you like I tell everybody, man. I'm here to investigate. I'm here to educate. If you try to violate, I'm going to have to litigate. You understand what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. I've asked you to leave City Hall twice. You're refusing to leave City Hall.
Look,
So now-
you're law enforcement, not feelings enforcement. You're not orders enforcement either.
Yes, I am orders enforcement. I'm asking you to
So
please
whatever
leave.
you say is the law.
I'm asking you to please leave.
Okay, and I'm telling you,
Hey,
enforce the
Jazz.
law, bro.
Can you call back to police department, please?
You're the chief?
Please leave. Yes.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm asking you to please leave City Hall.
Okay, dude, you're law enforcement. What law is that?
We are closed. Please leave.
Bro, it's open.
No, it's not. We're closed.
We're
The
able
signs-
to walk right in.
Yes. Now I
That's the
figure out why
problem.
that happened. Can you
We'll
guys
figure
please
out why
leave?
it happened, but it's not our problem that it happened, man.
I'm asking you guys to
People,
please
we've
leave.
been around here for the past 2 days and seen people walk right in.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Only city workers are inside here.
So what are you guys doing here then? Do you service the public or you just sit here and talk to each other and you guys flirting or something?
No.
No. Do you have a job to do?
Yes, I'm doing my job. I'm asking you to
Is
please
your
leave.
job to stand there in the doorway and talk to her?
We were talking about city officials, business.
Right. Okay, man. But again, dude, it's not my problem that the thing is unlocked, that the
We'll
the
figure it
hours
out.
are posted all on the door.
Please leave.
Please stop giving unlawful orders.
It's not an unlawful order. I'm asking you to please leave City Hall because
In order for me to be lawful, it's got to have a law behind it, man.
we have an ordinance right now saying that City Hall is closed.
Could you show me that ordinance?
If you step outside, I'll take care of it.
No, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's go over to the police department, man.
You walk outside, you walk down.
Is there something over there that I should
No.
know about?
City Hall is closed.
So you're just going to be ridiculous and ask that I walk out in the cold when there's a hallway leading right to the police department?
Yes.
Okay. That is silly. What's up with you, man? You got a problem?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so how do people pay their utilities, brother?
By phone.
By phone?
By phone, or they have a drop box.
Okay. But why are the hours posted right behind her? You're a city worker.
Please leave.
Why?
Because I'm asking you to.
Okay, man.
Okay, here's the thing. Right now,
You're
I've asked you.
so you're gonna try to get aggressive?
No.
Okay.
I've asked you 3 times.
We've seen this before.
Or numerous times to ask you to please leave.
Right, but I don't
You're
have to
refusing.
follow your orders. I just got to follow the law.
That is the law. I'm asking you to leave. You're in violation of the city ordinance. Please leave.
What city ordinance?
We-
Right here.
You got the city ordinance? Can
I'm
I
not
see it?
giving it to you.
If
If
I-
it's right here, I'll read it to you.
Well, if I can't see it, man, I can't.
Well, then I can't help it. He just
You've
told
got
me
it
to
right
leave.
there.
I'm the mayor.
Okay,
It's
Mayor.
time to leave.
Do you always let your chief act
Yes,
like
I
this?
do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, especially people like you, so it's time to
What
leave.
people like me? What do you mean?
It's time to leave.
People like
I'm going to tell you this one more time.
People like you! How dare you stand up for your right?
Yeah, you're
I'm the boss!
Contempt and disorder.
Can I see it?
No. No.
So
I'm reading it to you.
well, I don't want you to read it.
Well,
Man.
then you don't believe me. I don't believe you. It's
Look,
time
how
to
am I
leave.
going to know that I'm in violation of an ordinance? You can't be in violation if you don't know it's
No,
noise.
you're not touching.
I'll give it back to you,
No,
man.
I don't want your fingers.
What's
Read
wrong,
this.
dude? Are you racist or something?
No. Read
You're
it.
not. You're not discriminating.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. No person shall use violent or contemptuous language, behave in a disorderly manner, or refuse to obey orders of the mayor or presiding officer in the council room.
Yes.
This isn't the council room.
This
brother.
is City Hall.
City Hall.
Brother,
No,
don't
it
call
says
me
the
brother.
council
I'm not
room.
your brother.
This, this is hilarious, man. This ain't the council room. If you take me and I just read the ordinance to you, man. If you try to go hands on here,
Well,
that's
here's
gonna be
the
a
thing.
civil rights
Leave.
Right
violation.
now, you're,
Leave or we
right now
will.
you're disorderly conduct.
No,
Leave.
Yes, because I asked you to
you
leave.
made contact with me.
Yes, yes, because you're in City Hall. That's closed.
They look up the statute for disorderly
You need to leave.
conduct. Man, go hands on. You're gonna be getting a lawsuit.
Please
You
leave.
want that?
You're going to have to leave or we're going to, you got to leave.
Man, I just read the city ordinance. Doesn't say anything about this area, and if
Please leave.
I can get that for
Please
a
leave.
public records request.
Yeah.
Man, keep asking, brother. There's no law.
Why
Yes.
are you in here?
What do you want?
Because I'm here investigating the fact that and dude, keep it 6
Investigating what?
feet.
Back up.
Dude,
Back
you're
up.
trying to intimidate me, man. It doesn't really work on me, dude.
Back out. You need to leave too.
Dude, there's no law that we're in violation of.
Yes, City Hall is closed. Read the signs out there.
I just read the ordinance.
Signs out there says City Hall is closed. Please leave.
I just read the ordinance, man.
Please leave.
If you want to lock people up for not breaking laws,
You are
that's
breaking
your
the law.
prerogative. Nope, there's no law that I'm in violation of, man.
Yeah, City Hall is closed.
I just read the law to you. It says if you are disobeying a mayor's order in the council room, that's a different thing.
This sign right here says the City Hall is closed. We were closed due to COVID. And we're still closed due to COVID.
Yes, so please leave.
So no one in here has ever had COVID. And that's the reason because we did
But
close.
where's the law that says that, man? You can't just put up signs everywhere.
Yes, we have the right.
I have the right to put that sign up in the city plan.
But where does the law say that?
Look at any state statute.
I have.
Okay.
No,
then
I do this for a living,
Just look
man.
at the mayor. of
Don't
Philadelphia.
worry.
He just told them to put, they have to wear masks.
No, you can't just have a mask mandate for the public, man. That's a policy for the
Well, then you
employees.
need to talk to the mayor in Pennsylvania, but right now you need to exit.
That's fine,
City
man.
Hall.
This is Indiana. We're not
You
doing
need
that.
to exit.
Dude, I'm telling you, you can tell me, please leave, but it's not a law. I don't
Yeah, it's
obey.
disorderly conduct now.
No, it's not, man.
Yes, it's
Have you
violation.
ever read the statute for disorderly conduct? It's fighting or tumultuous behavior.
It's also not listening to the commands of the
No,
phone.
it's not, man. You haven't read it, and I just advised you of it. So if you go hands on, you've lost your qualified immunity. I've just advised you that that's not a law, man. You guys could do yourself a favor, just go back to doing your job. This is not looking good on you guys.
Not looking good on you
Not
either.
looking good on you, brother.
Okay, brother, you're just an American like I am.
No, I fought for this country, buddy.
This guy wants to say that he fought for this country, so we better respect him. Well, hate to break it to him, but just because he fought for the politicians that are ruining our country doesn't mean he's fighting for our country.
Yeah, I'm fighting for this country too against
Yeah,
people
it
like
looks like
you.
it. It looks
Against,
like
dude, do not touch my stuff.
I can if I want to.
Hey,
This grown man child is so out of control. You can tell his parents never taught him how to behave. I mean, he's actually pushing at our phones, trying to knock them out of their containers. This is absolutely ridiculous. And the words he says were, I can if I want to. Well, he's obviously a sovereign citizen then, because we couldn't if we wanted to.
too against
Yeah,
people
it
like
looks
you.
like it.
Against, dude, do not touch my stuff.
I
dude.
can if I want to.
No, you cannot, bro. You
Not
can't
touch
touch
my
my
shit.
stuff.
Leave.
That's called vandalism.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
walking.
While the others are recruiting, I'm farming. While they are occupied.
So now you're getting a vandalization charge.
Oh, please do.
Yep, you are, brother. You are.
Please leave.
Absolutely. Dude, stop getting close to me, man. One, you're harassing, you're
Oh.
intimidating.
No, you're harassing.
You're harassing us.
We're here in a public
For the
building.
love of Sand Hill.
You go back to doing your job. All
No,
you guys
this
go
is
back to
my
doing your job.
This is my job.
Are you trying to
too.
push my shit out? You
No, I'm
got that
trying
on
to-
camera, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're harassing us.
We're here in a public
For the
building.
love of Sand Hill.
You go back to doing your job. All
No,
you guys
this
go
is
back to
my
doing your
job.
job.
You- this is my job.
Are you trying to
too.
push my shit out? You
No, I'm
got that
trying
on
to-
camera, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Hey,
I got it.
Man, are you a kid? Didn't your mommy tell you to not touch?
Out.
Get this on camera, bro.
Oh, I got it too.
Out the doors.
Come on. I got it
with
too,
your
bud.
big fucking beer belly. You look pathetic, man. If you want to take that badge off, we can figure out who's a tough guy. You don't want
Oh, that was a threat.
No, you're a pussy, bro. Come on, take the badge off and let's go somewhere else. Let's go to private property and you can fight. You want to? I'm giving you the chance of consent. Are you just oh, you're assaulting me. Pussy! Pussy ass pig. I swear to God, bro. This is why cops drop. You hear me? They'll keep dropping too. Pigs like you. I'm getting that recording there. I'm going to. It's called public records requests. You think you're so tough. And hey, man. Hey, brother. I'm giving you a chance, man. If you want to redeem yourself, we can fight, McLaren. I'm giving you a chance to consent.
Yeah, no surprise. This guy doesn't consent. You would never expect a coward in a clown costume to actually partake in consensual fighting. It's only when they have their gang behind them with a whole bunch of guns. We head over to the police department to see what we can't figure out.
He thinks he's above the law. That was fucking insane. Hey, man, get the chief out here. Yeah, he is. He just assaulted me over there. Get him out here, man.
I'm telling you, he's not back here.
Well, go get him then. If he can walk over there, you can walk over there.
Not my job, dude.
Not your job.
Not my job. I'll
Yeah.
holler at him on the radio if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. Holler at him on the radio. Yeah. The way that guy acts, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up like Greg Ferenczi.
For real. He don't want none of it. He don't want to smoke.
He doesn't, brother.
He has to know what he just did there was fucking wrong, but I don't care. Clearly.
No.
You have a complaint or a crime to be reported?
Yeah, man. But the guy that I'm reporting it on is right there. You just battered me. So can we, hey, if you know, bad officers don't let, or sorry, good officers don't let bad officers get away with things. So are you going to arrest him?
We'll call the state police for you and see if they want to come down and talk to you.
And I'll let another group of the Blue Line gang, you're going to get them to come down?
We'll get a hold of state police, see if they want to come.
Yeah, so I have business to conduct at City Hall. I need a public records request so that it can go to the city attorney. I know you were just talking to him. So either I can go get the public records request or you can go get the public records request. But if you take longer than 5 minutes to get it, man, I'm going to go in there and do it myself.
Well, I'll call and see if we can get one.
Okay, but again, 5-minute time limit, man. You know, I'm on a time schedule. So I'm going to need that public records request. It's a public service that they offer at City Hall. I need one. So if I can't get it, that will be a refusal of services.
So what's the public request form you're wanting? What's it for?
It's for public records.
What public records are you wanting?
I'll tell the city attorney that, man. It's not for you to decide whether they're valid or not.
Well, you got to tell me what public records because we need to know what's on the form.
That's not in the law,
Oh, yeah,
man.
they weren't giving you one.
All right, well, I'll just go get it myself, brother. Do you want me to bring up the law, or are you not interested in that?
Oh, you don't like the law.
Hey, thug, get over here. Hey, you piece of... Why don't you go on and get over here?
Here, piggy.
Piggy, 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 piggy.
Need some services today.
I have out here. We're going to include this in the footage. Yeah, I need to get a public records request. I've been standing outside ringing the doorbell for a while.
Uh-huh.
So are you going to provide me with the public service?
What do you need?
A
What do
public
you need?
a public records request.
Do you want a copy of my phone where you called them the pig? Or
Yeah,
what would
yeah.
you like?
No, I want
What
all
is
of it.
that you're looking for?
I want every.
That's what you're looking for? Okay, bye-bye.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. This is crazy, man.
Mayor's office.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, Public Records Act, APRA, 5 dash. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this at all. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the law,
He
bro.
don't care at all. They hate it.
We're taking away their qualified immunity, man.
This is insane.
They keep answering and hanging up.
Yeah. This is what we pay for, people. This is absolutely asinine.
So me and Ty continuously call for the next 15 minutes. We walk over to the police department to see if we can't inform them of this violation of the law. It was statute 5-14-3, which states that public employees are obligated to provide records, or records requests, I should say. But yeah, I mean, we stuck around for at least another 20 minutes, 15 of which we tried to call them. They kept answering and hanging up. So the next clip will just be me getting the answering machine, and you'll get to see the message that I left them.
You've reached the office of Jack Guilfoyle and Mayor Clinton. I'm not available at the moment. You may leave me a message at the beep.
Recording.
Indiana Code 5-14-3 states that the public shall have records to any acts committed by public officials or employees while in their public capacity. If you guys are in violation of this, and I've just told you you're in violation of this, you can have one chance to rectify this. The police department is already getting a lawsuit. In order for the mayor's office to not get a lawsuit, I need you to contact me at CHANDYAUDITS@gmail.com and tell me that I can get whatever records I'm requesting. If not, you will be in violation of the law and you will get a lawsuit.
Another day in the neighborhood. All right, we got one more video. This one's from Here's the Deal. Please like, subscribe, and share. And this video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
You are in control when you are in the right. We all know that cops are constantly in the wrong. They're constantly living in a state of, hey, I've got qualified immunity. I can pull this guy over. I can harass that person. I can interrupt that person's day. Oh, because we got to keep our community safe. 18 USC 242 is still in play. Deprivation of rights under color of law is a criminal offense. So this is Jeff Gray. They don't call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for no reason. Watch this. Watch him single-handedly manhandle this cop who's trying to tell him that the exercise of his freedom of speech on the roadway is a ticketable offense. Watch this.
What?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Why are we flashing our lights on everybody? Telling me my partners are down the street?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you got your driver's license on you?
I do.
This is a traffic stop
What for?
for flashing your lights towards the opposite directions.
Yeah, I was letting other drivers know that you guys were there.
Okay. So you can't have your lights on high beams flashing the other direction.
And the courts.
Jeff's like, he's not hiding. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, flashing my lights? I didn't flash my lights. Jeff didn't even go there. He's like, yeah, I was letting people know you guys were there. I was letting people know that you guys have a quota, and I didn't want them to fall victim to your stupid dragnet on the highways while you're trying to extort the American people you claim to be protecting and serving. Remember, we went over this like 2 or 3 weeks ago in a video where we showed you that if you're flashing your lights to communicate a message that, hey, back there on the roadway, there's a bunch of road pirates, and you want to make sure you check out your speed so you slow down so you don't give them an opportunity and a reason to pull you over so they can extort you. That's communication. Communication is directing a message at somebody. Therefore, it is the freedom of speech, and it's protected in multiple court cases.
Let there be light. Flashing your headlights to warn other drivers of speed trap is speech protected under the First Amendment.
Pardon, car j'ai péché. J'avais promis de donner au joueur le qui est un ami gratuit.
Flashing headlights is your constitutionally protected right. Florida police should no longer be able to ticket drivers who use their headlights to communicate with other drivers, even if it's to warn them of upcoming speed traps. And notice how in the lower left-hand corner, this is from an article that was from back in 2012. Courts across the country have...
Yeah, and that's a good point right there. Back in 2012, what is this right here? 2023. So the cops have had 11 years to understand that, hey, Americans on American soil, on the American roadways, have the perfect right to flash their lights and to warn their fellow countrymen of our incursions on their rights. They had 11 years to get this down, and they still don't get it. Why? Because they don't want to get it. Why? Because they have quotas, and those quotas mean dollars. It means raking in the big bucks while, it doesn't matter if you're a single woman struggling to put food on the table or who you are. They're going to extort money. It's taxation. Taxation is theft. More specifically, taxation at the barrel of a government gun, which is exactly what happens when there's roadside piracy. Men and women with guns go alongside your car and they threaten you and they extract money from you. That is extortion. So you're warning people when you're flashing your lights about an oncoming extortion racket taking place.
That flashing headlights to warn other drivers of speed traps ahead is a form of free speech protected by the First Amendment, and therefore cannot be the sole basis for police to pull over a driver. So it's pretty much common knowledge nowadays. Everybody knows that flashing your high beams to communicate with other drivers is First Amendment protected free speech, except in Clay County, Florida, with the Clay County, Florida Sheriff's Department. As I was driving northbound on US Highway 17, I noticed this Clay County Sheriff's deputy catching southbound traffic as they crested the Black Creek Bridge.
Think about how unsafe this is. Unsafe for the people on the roadways and unsafe for this cop sitting there. Somebody coming out, I just put in a 12, 14, 16-hour shift. I'm coming home, I'm tired, I'm dozing off. And whereas he could have hit the median and it could have woken back up, now he's got a roadblock. Now he's got a sitting car, a 3,500, 4,500 pound vehicle sitting right there that he could collide into. Somebody, doing something stupid and texting on their phone or making a phone call or reaching over and trying to pick something up or adjusting their air conditioner or the radio or whatever and just not paying attention. That puts the cop in danger and it puts the people in the community in danger.
So I began flashing my high beams to warn southbound traffic of the speed trap. However, I wasn't aware that 2 more Clay County Sheriff's deputies were sitting up ahead over on the left. In retaliation for me warning drivers of the speed trap, one of these deputies blinded me with his high-power spotlight. Bam.
Now look at that. What's the reason they pulled you over? Oh, it's a safety issue. If you're blinking your lights, you're going to blind somebody and you could cause an accident. While they blind people and could cause an accident. And this is a concentrated high beam. This isn't just, flashing your lights to communicate, hey, there's road piracy ahead. There's a road piracy trap. These people are actually concentrating a bright beam into your car, blinding you. Isn't that a safety issue, officer? But we're going to pull you over for the very thing that we just did to you.
Then later on up the road, Clay County Sheriff's Deputy Brittany Henderson pulled me over for exercising my First Amendment protected right to free speech. But it didn't work out the way she thought it would.
Brittany!
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
doing? Why are we flashing our lights on everybody? Telling me my partners are down the street?
Yeah,
Okay, do you have your driver's license on you?
I do.
Okay, can you hand it to me, please?
I'd rather not.
I'm sorry?
Nah, that doesn't work for me.
This is a traffic stop
What for?
for flashing your lights towards the opposite directions.
Yeah, I was letting other drivers know that you guys were there.
It's like a horse staring at a new gate. He's like, she's like, can I get your driver's license? No, I'd rather not. What? What are you talking about? People always give me their driver's license upon demand.
Okay, so you can't have your lights on high beams flashing in the other direction.
You want to bet your qualified immunity on that?
I'm sorry?
You want to bet your qualified immunity on that?
Qualified immunity on that?
Yeah, I'll grab my phone. Let's see. Yeah, do you want to bet your qualified immunity on that?
Okay, what is your name, sir?
I'd rather not give my name.
Okay, well, sit tight for me for just 1 second, okay?
Okay, I'd like to be free to go.
Jeff is absolutely not cooperating here. The cop is asking for an ID. Hey, give me your name. What do you mean qualified immunity? What are you talking about? The person in the driver's seat, the person in total control right here is the person who should be in total control. That's the person who's getting harassed by a road pirate.
Sorry?
I'd like to be free to go.
Why would you like to be free to go?
Because you stopped me for an unlawful reason. What's your name?
Why would I like to be free to go? Let me see. Why would I like to be free to go? Let's see. Oh, because I'm an American and millions of people shed their blood so that I could have the right to drive on this roadway unmolested. That's why I should be free to go. You should have never pulled me over in the first place. The reason you pulled me over is because I was exercising my First Amendment right, and you're trying to criminalize that right now by executing road piracy on me.
My name is Deputy Henderson.
All right, my name is Jeff.
Okay, hold on, Jeff, 1 second, okay?
I'm not hostile or anything like that.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Okay, just hold tight for me, okay?
Okay.
Is the car registered to you?
I don't, like I said, I don't answer any questions.
Okay, hold tight for me, okay?
Yeah, do you want to bet your qualified immunity on that?
Okay, what is your name, sir?
I'd rather not give my name.
Okay, well, sit tight for me for just 1 second, okay?
Okay, I'd like to be free to go.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to be free to go.
Why would you like to be free to go?
Because you stopped me for an unlawful reason. What's your name?
Why would you like to be free to go? Why would you like to be free from my harassment? Why would you like to be free from my roadside piracy? Why would you like to be free from my forced and threatening extortion practice here? Oh, I'd say, I don't know. Gosh, I can't think of any reasons, officer. Okay, go ahead. Issue me a ticket.
My name is Deputy Henderson.
All right, my name is Jeff.
Okay, hold on, Jeff, 1 second, okay?
I'm not hostile or anything like that.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Okay, just hold tight for me, okay?
Okay.
Is the car registered to you?
I don't, like I said, I don't answer any questions.
Okay, hold tight for me, okay? All right, Mr. Gray.
All right,
I'm
thank
just
you.
going to quote something for you, okay?
All right.
So, Florida State Statute 316.2381 alpha must dim high beam lights within 500 feet of oncoming vehicle. This is the reason why I'm stopping you, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to give you a verbal warning.
All right.
That's the reason why I'm stopping you.
Okay.
She keeps shining the light in Jeff's face. She's shining the light in his camera, which basically it's keeping him from exercising his First Amendment right to freedom of press. Hey, we want to see your face, officer. So if you're quoting that statute, that Florida statute right there, that traffic statute, then why did was it you that blinded me? Was it you that tried to blind me when you were sitting on the side of the road? Oh, so you violated your own code?
Okay?
All right.
All right. Drive safe.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so there's the infraction right there. But I just wanted to point this out because this is powerful. This is an example of an American who is absolutely sick of getting his rights violated, and he stands up for his rights. And really, by extension, Jeff is not just standing up for his own rights when he does these videos. He's standing right for the rights of every single American, every single person on this planet who just wants to be left alone, who just wants to be free. I will leave the link to Jeff's original video so you can take a look at it in its entirety. I'll leave that in the description. And if you guys want, make a comment because it really helps me overcome the algorithm on this channel. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design that you can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, cell phone case, whatever, and I will see you guys in the next video.
How has Shopify enabled your
I hope everybody's doing well today. Any comments, thoughts, suggestions are all appreciated. Please join in at any time. Thank you. Hello? Is there anybody out there? Ha 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 ha. All right. Well, I guess we'll share one more video here. This video is brought to you by High Frequency. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment and educational and fair use only. Thank you.
Okay, here's a video I discovered after yesterday's broadcast. I want people to pay attention to how these people are noticing the same thing I'm noticing about the Democrats and their lack of respect for religion. This is the undertones of what's going on in this country is religious in nature. And I want you to listen very closely to.
Yeah, that was one of the first videos I showed there, Austin. I showed the video about them talking about killing the reporter. That was one of my first ones. But thank you for bringing that up.
To this 7-minute clip, because these people are really, they're identifying what the issues are without saying it, without really saying the name of the individuals. But I want you to just pay attention to this.
The Biden administration's Department of Justice offering what critics call a sweetheart deal to a transgender vandal caught on camera smashing and spray painting a Catholic church in Washington state last year. This is surveillance video of 31-year-old Maeve Noda in action, throwing a rock at a glass window while a woman was praying inside. She had to lock herself in. She was so scared. This person then spray painted the sacred building's walls with profane and anti-Catholic messages like religion of hate, woman haters, and more. Noda also defaced the church's beloved statue of the Virgin Mary and spray painted a church worker in the face before resisting arrest. Despite those damages to the church totaling nearly $100,000, the DOJ recommended, wait for it, 0 jail time, and instead recommended just 3 years probation. This plea deal sharply contrasts with the Biden administration's treatment of, for example, pro-life activist and Father Mark Houck. The DOJ charged Houck with violating the FACE Act back in October of 21 after he shoved a Planned Parenthood volunteer while defending his son. The FBI later raided Houck's Pennsylvania home, arresting him in front of his wife and 7 children after state police declined to press charges. Houck faced 11 years in federal prison before he was acquitted earlier this year. Kellyanne, the contrast is nothing short of stunning, and it's unacceptable.
Yes, and in Joe Biden and Merrick Garland's Department of Justice, you see that parents at school board meetings who are concerned about curricula and lost learning are domestic terrorists. This has been a pretty anti-Catholic administration for Mr. I'm Catholic Joe Biden. They're openly hostile to religion overall. And I think it's costing a lot of Hispanic voters, Asian American voters in this country. They are realigning for many reasons, but one is the open hostility toward religion.
Military gadgets are changing people's physique, and here's why. These military special forces are becoming stronger fast by breathing in 200% more oxygen. And the only way they can do this is by using...
Okay, I want you to pay attention to the attorney general that's behind all this is a Jewish man by the name of Merrick Garland, who was nominated for the Supreme Court and wasn't able to get that seat after Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, who was also Jewish. But I want you to pay attention to what this man has been doing since he's been in office, the attacks that he's been orchestrating against religion, and then how he plays innocent after the fact. You just really need to really pay attention to this man right here and what he's doing. And you'll start to see the tactics that they use in establishing. They're trying to bring in a new world order, and they're destabilizing the country by creating a lot of turmoil. Remember, it's a new world order, so they have to establish chaos first.
Look at the treatment of Amy Coney Barrett, who is eminently qualified to sit where she now works in the United States Supreme Court. She went there with not a single Democratic senator's vote, even though when she went to Senate confirmation, they dressed her down about her Catholicism. Dianne Feinstein said, it's obvious that, your doctrine burns inside of you, as if anything burns inside of Dianne Feinstein at this point.
Okay. Notice that you'll never hear them mention the nationality of these people they're talking about. I want to bring that to your attention. Dianne Feinstein is Jewish. And I'm going to run the clip of what she was just talking about because I saw the same clip. This right here, what she's talking about is made me post this video because they're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, that nobody else seems to see. But here's a clip of Dianne Feinstein dragging Amy Coney Barrett at her confirmation hearing about her religious beliefs.
Why is it that so many of us on this side have this very uncomfortable feeling that, dogma and law are two different things? And I think whatever a religion is, it has its own dogma. The law is totally different. And I think in your case, Professor, when you read your speeches, the conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. And that's of concern when you come to big issues that large numbers of people have fought for years in this country.
And so the hostility towards Amy Coney Barrett, who lives her faith every day, was there wearing the cross as a Catholic, had been a professor at Notre Dame, has 7 children, 2 adopted from Haiti. That hostility contrasted with this. By the way, this, I think, Kaylee, I know people are here, are attorneys, that looked like assault with a deadly weapon. I mean, spray painting somebody in the face, throwing a rock where somebody is praying on the other side. And I just want to quickly remind the audience, the fact that the DOJ was involved at all means there were federal crimes committed here. And they completely balked on that.
That's absolutely right. Thank you for that. Kaylee, not only are these hate crimes, but yes, not only did this person spray paint that churchgoer in the face, which is absolutely an aggravated assault and can be a felony in Washington state, but that person also, with a backpack full of spray cans, beat and shattered the police vehicle when they were resisting arrest. And yet somehow that's characterized simply as a vandal. I've been to service many times at St. Louise there in Bellevue, Washington. It's a beautiful church. It's a beautiful community. And it breaks my heart, not just that this happened, but that this happened in a world and an administration where there is zero accountability because somehow Catholic protection and Catholics' practice of faith matters less.
Yeah, resisting arrest, that happened too, as you noted. Look, viewers can do math. The American people can do math. When you have an administration that won't use the word Christian when 6 Christians are murdered, when you have an administration whose FBI talks about going after radical traditional Catholics, when you have, just yesterday we learned from Jim Jordan, an undercover agent, and the talk of going.
Thank you for joining in chat there, Bruce. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day and a better tomorrow.
Into Catholic churches. And then this, when Mike Lee puts forward, there have been 30.
I want you to pay attention to the fact that these are Christian women. Okay, this is Christian. They're not bringing this. They're not saying this, but these are Christian women. Caitlin McKinney, she always has her cross on her neck, even back when she was the speaker for Donald Trump, the press secretary for Donald Trump. Always had her came to the podium with her cross on because she was going against CNN reporters, all of whom were Jewish. I'll show you that in a little bit.
4 arrests of pro-lifers, many of whom have been exonerated in courts of law, 81 attacks on abortion facilities, pro-life facilities, and only 2 prosecuted. That doesn't include Catholic churches. What does that all add up to? An overt anti-conservative, anti-Catholic, anti-Christian bias on the part of this administration. It's not that hard. You just add up the pieces and you see what they equal.
Well, she's right. It's not that hard. Why? The question is, why can't the American people see this? Because they think that white people and Jewish people are the same. They think they're the same. They can't see it. They don't know where the attack is coming from. But these people see it. They see it very clearly.
And yet this persecution, Kaylee, is considered a complex, a fabricated one in this country. But if you leave this country, then it's accepted as an actual phenomenon. Bill, last year, the Attorney General testified in front of Congress that, as you mentioned, the pro-life center attackers, that they're just too clever for the FBI.
Attention YouTubers, did you know that you could reach large audiences beyond just YouTube? Stop right now, because
those who are attacking the pregnancy resources centers, which is a horrid thing to do, are doing this at night in the dark. These people who are doing this are clever and are doing it in secret. Yeah. We intend, if we find them, to do that. There is
so you can't find them.
If you have information about those groups, we would be happy to.
That is your job.
That is your job, Attorney General.
That's your job.
I didn't see all the TV cameras out there when that was happening, right? I was just looking at this story out of Washington State. He smashed 2 glass doors with rocks, spray painted the church's outside walls with F Catholics, rot in your fake hell, kid groomers, woman haters. This was around the time that Roe v. Wade was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court. A church staff member was spray painted across the face. I think you mentioned that. When officers showed up, he used a backpack full of spray paint cans to hit the police car. He was drunk during the arrest or appeared to be intoxicated. I don't know if he was given a DUI or a breathalyzer test.
Must have taken the day off from work.
I mean, if any citizen does this anywhere, you're doing time.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if that had happened at a synagogue.
Correct. Much less a church.
Exactly.
Ooh, she threw it in there. What if it was a synagogue? She let it slip. What if it was a synagogue? Pay attention.
Exactly. It is appalling, Harris. And yet that was explained away by saying, this person was intoxicated and angry about Roe v. Wade. But nothing excuses anti-Christian, anti-any religion hate crimes. And that's what this was. And this administration lets him get away with it.
I would say maybe the only people, in our country right now who understand this at the level of Christians are in the Jewish faith.
Now, here come one of their lap dogs. Always going to be a sister. All right. Trying to throw some water on the fire. Well, there's a lot of anti-Semitism out there. They're trying to, and that's not to say that all the Jewish people are involved in this. Absolutely not. This is absolutely a Zionist thing. But notice how they get us to downplay things for them. Just pay attention to the roles we play in all of this. Just start paying attention to that. That's the point I wanted to bring out.
I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semitism that's rocking out there right now. So I've had people in the Jewish faith say we need to work together on securing these places so that, in fact, Ari Fleischer and I had this conversation just personally off camera recently. And he said they are starting to team up now, some of the synagogues, to try to figure out how to protect those softer targets. I mean, you have a person kneeling to pray, and then you have this violent actor who gets off with nothing compared to what he should have gotten off with or should have gotten, throwing a rock through a window, attacking that structure, so on and so forth. So I do think that there is just this anti-movement of Christian and Jewish faiths in this country, but it is sought after by the FBI.
I think it's kind of funny how they categorized that person throwing a rock at that church door an actor. Huh. Very interesting. Actor.
Where Christians are concerned.
That's why your book is so important. That's
And
why
just
people
thank
are
you.
reading your book and Shannon's book
appreciate
and
that.
Ainsley's
books.
Ainsley going to Asbury, Ohio, to that university. And I mean, there's a hunger for what your messages.
Just quickly noting, Tim Scott talked about in his video protecting the Judeo-Christian community.
Yeah,
Spot on.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, watch how the CNN reporter Jim Acosta attacks President Donald Trump. And Jim Acosta, once again, is Jewish. You just decide for yourself, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign in the midterms. That
Here we go.
That, well, if you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me
that. Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to try to keep
them? I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process.
Why are they so concerned with allowing illegal aliens in? That's the next question you need to ask yourself. Undocumented. Why is that?
I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
That's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood.
There's that word again, actors. No. Those weren't actors. How could you ever insinuate that those were actors? Actors. How dare they?
Hollywood.
Oh, that was a little slight jab at him right there, you know, with the Sandy Hook and the crisis actors and all of that. A lot of the shootings and everything, they've been alleging that there were actors, you know, coming from Hollywood. And there was a lot of evidence to substantiate that, but it's all been scraped off of YouTube now. You probably have to go to somewhere like BitChute and things like that to find it. But that was an innocent. That was Trump throwing a jab at him.
These were people. This was an actual, you know, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let me
would be
ask,
much better.
if I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President. If I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President,
That's
I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Do you see that lady go and grab that man? The president told you to shut the hell up. You need to shut the hell up and sit down. Sit down, I said.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation? Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts.
Well,
his
I'm
butt
not a
like the
big
rest
fan
of
of
us.
yours either. So,
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question, if I can. You repeatedly said
You aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly over the course
Okay,
of
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, over the course of the last several days of the campaign, sir, at the end of the campaign, you repeatedly said that Americans need to fear Democrats. You said Democrats would unleash a wave of violent crime that endangers families everywhere. Why are you
Because they're
pitting
very weak on
Americans?
crime.
Why
Excuse
are you
me.
pitting Americans?
Peter.
Actors. Fake news. What I say is true is only true.
Against one another, sir.
Peter, what are you trying to be him?
No, I'm
Peter,
just asking the question.
Let me just tell you, very simple, because they're very weak on crime, because they have often suggested members and people within the Democrat Party at a high level have suggested getting rid of ICE, getting rid of law enforcement. That's not going to happen, okay? We want to be strong on the borders. We want to be strong on law enforcement, and I want to cherish ICE because ICE does a fantastic job. What they do for us is it's so unrecognized how good a job they do. So we want to take care of them, and we want to hold them very close because they do a good job.
But the question,
Okay,
to be clear, though, the question,
Thank you
sir,
very
is,
much.
why are you
sit down?
But you didn't answer my question. Just very simply, the question is, why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
I'm not.
Is that how you view
No, I'm not.
citizens
Well,
of
look,
this country?
I'll tell you what, we won a lot of elections last night. We did very well last night.
But in
and
many ways,
I think it's going to have.
country.
I think it's going to have a very positive impact. I watched NBC this morning. They didn't report it exactly correctly, but that's very, very. That's the fact with NBC. Nothing I can do about that. But I want this country to have protection. We want security in our country. I want security, Peter. I mean, you maybe don't think it's so important. And I think when you don't have it, you are indeed unleashing crime. I feel that. Go
You
ahead.
said you would sign an executive order on birthright citizenship. Are you still going to sign the executive order on birthright citizenship?
You'll ask me that question a little bit later. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. The investigation by the special counsel Robert Mueller has been going on since last spring. It's been over
It's
your
been a
head.
long time.
Yeah, it's been over your head, over Republicans' head during the midterms as well. Is this an opportunity for you, Mr. President, to end that investigation? Would you consider removing Mr. Mueller from his position?
I could have ended it any time I wanted. I didn't. And there was no collusion. There was no anything. I didn't. They went after hackers in Moscow. I don't know about that. They went after people with tax problems from years ago. They went after people with loans and other things. Nothing to do with my campaign. This is a investigation where many, many millions of dollars has been spent, and there's no collusion. It was supposed to be on collusion. There's no collusion, and I think it's very bad for our country. I will tell you. I think it's a shame. And a poll came out today, by the way, from NBC, or at least I saw it on NBC, where a majority of the people do not agree with the Mueller investigation, or it wasn't approved. They have approval and disapproval, and it had a much higher disapproval. It should end because it's very bad for our country.
So if it's bad,
and I'm not just talking about the tremendous expense. And the other thing is they should look at the other side also. They only look at one side. They're not looking at all of the things that came up during this investigation. They don't do that. They should also get people that can be fair, not 13 or 14 or 17. I call them the angry Democrats. They are angry people. And it's a very unfair thing for this country. It's a very, very, forget about unfair to me. It's very bad for our country.
So, Mr. President, if it's
Go ahead.
Mr.
No,
President,
no.
just wait, just a moment. If it's unfair to the country and it's
Orange man for president.
costing millions of dollars, why don't you just
Give him the
end
mic,
it?
please. I've answered the question. Go ahead, take the. Well, I'll give you voters. I will give you voter suppression. You just have to sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I'll give you voter suppression. Take a look at the CNN polls, how inaccurate they were. That's called voter suppression. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm not responding. I'm responding to, excuse me, I'm not responding to you. I'm talking to this gentleman. Would you please sit down? Excuse me, would you please sit down? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now that the House of
Very
Representatives
hostile.
has fled,
It's such a hostile media. It's so sad. You asked me about, no, you rudely interrupted him. You rudely interrupted him. Go ahead.
thank you, Mr. President. Do your demands remain the same to the United States Congress?
Now you're talking, Nubs. Yes, Biden for let's see here. Hunter Biden and Jack Telcock for vice president. Cast your votes now.
Congress on immigration in exchange for a DACA fix, in exchange for an amnesty for 1.7 million. Are you willing to change any of those demands that you gave to Congress earlier?
I think we could really do something having to do with DACA. And what really happened with DACA, we could have done some pretty good work on DACA, but a judge ruled that DACA was okay. Had the judge not ruled that way, I think we would have made a deal. Once the judge ruled that way, the Democrats didn't want to talk anymore. So we'll see how it works out at the Supreme Court.
Number OP 1670. If you're an American citizen and you use a bank.
All right, we got another video here. The title of the video is Body Cam Footage, Lawsuit Filed After Cop Pulls a Gun on a 10-year-old in Michigan. Brought to you by M Live. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
Oh, no. Sit. Lay down. Hands. Put the phone down now. Sit. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Put the phone down. Stand up, okay? Stand up. You're good. Stand up. I got you. Hey, you're good. You're good. All right. Stand up. I got you. You're going to be okay. Stand up. I got you. I'm going to detain you for right now, okay? Let me get every phone. Let's set it on the ground so we don't break it, all right? I didn't run from you. I didn't run from you.
Are you okay? It's fine. These come off just as easy, all right? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Sorry, now we got two detained cars secure.
Can you put him up?
You detained 1534. Is there anything in pockets we need to know about?
No, nothing.
All right.
Here, you can check.
You're okay, all right? Who's in the car with you? It's your dad? Okay. Do you know why he took off running?
Huh?
You know why he took off running?
No.
Okay. All right, he's going to be okay, too. Don't worry about it, all right? You're okay. Everything's going to be fine.
Stop pulling away from me. Stop. Wrong me. Wow. Stop. Where's the sergeant? Stop. Get off of me, dude. Stop.
I'm going to pull your mask up, okay? You're okay? You're not hurt at all?
No.
In the ambulance training?
I'm scared.
Everything's going to be good. Don't worry about it, all right?
For units out on Jamesville, we're going to take the patch off and Metro East. The detail will be on
Can I call my mom?
Yep, we'll let you make some phone calls in just a little bit, okay? He's okay. He's okay. He's all right. Here, do me a favor. Let's go over to this side of the car, okay? You're good. You're good. You're good. It's all right. Where's your mom at?
She's at home.
Okay. All right.
Why do y'all got my son in handcuffs, bro?
Here, let's go over to my car. We'll get you out of those handcuffs, all right?
Take him out of handcuffs.
Okay. I was actually just taking him over to the car to do it. All right, you're good. Do you want to call your mom?
Yeah.
All right, we can call your mom.
You want to have a seat right there on the curb?
Go and sit on the curb, all right?
Right there.
You're good. You can stand. You can sit. It's up to you. I get it.
Hello?
Yes.
You have to come.
What is it? Huron Street?
Huron
The
Street?
Kroger at Huron Street in 94.
12 on Huron Street, 94.
What do you mean? What's going on?
My dad got pulled over.
Oh, my motherfucking God. I'm on my way. I'm coming from here. Tell them I'm on my way.
Okay, just tell her everything's okay. He's all right. So just hurry, but don't hurry, okay? We don't want you to get into an accident. He's okay.
Where?
Sure.
Where?
Huron Street 94. We're at the Kroger.
At the Kroger by
McDonald's.
There's a Powerhouse gym there, a Shell station. We're right behind the Shell station.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Okay, your son's fine.
Okay.
Y'all good? You need a water or anything? You thirsty?
Yeah.
Gatorade? Hey, Cassette, I'm gonna grab him a drink.
Okay.
You want a Gatorade or a water?
Gatorade.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can you it's a bag in the car and it's green and it's my grandma's gift.
Okay, yeah, we'll make sure we get everything for you. They're gonna have to do some things with the car just because, you know, what happened. But yeah, we'll definitely make sure we get that for you. Don't worry about that.
Let me see what's going on. I mean, where y'all at? I don't know. Man, so where is your surroundings? Where are you at? This is the Polish Island. Where is it? Where is it again?
It's Huron near Whitaker.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Huron. Don't start crying. Your mommy on the way? Yeah. Okay.
I know I asked you, but you're okay. You don't need the paramedics to look at you at all. Didn't hit your head.
No.
Seatbelt was on, all that good stuff. Okay. And like I said, sorry about that initial stuff. All right.
My dad wants to go over there.
You wanna go see your dad? Don't forget your Gatorade. Mom's on her way.
You guys all still on or no?
What's that?
You guys all still on?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Another 700. Wow. Oh, Nelly, 320.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just keep going here for a little bit. We'll show another video. This video's titled Cops Ego Hunt When They Can't Make an Arrest. This video is brought to you by Let's Go Viral. This video is used for educational and entertainment and fair use. Thank you.
Hi guys. Please take a moment to click the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Today we're featuring the Auditing Erie County channel. Please check out the links in the description to watch the full original video. Visit his channel and get subscribed to become part of the Erie County fam.
How you doing? No, I don't need any help. I'm just here to take some photographs of the lobby. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm working on the labor department.
Okay.
Right?
You are from the labor department?
No, I'm the independent journalist just working on a story on the labor department.
Okay, I don't know about pictures in here. Can you mind if I get approval real quick? I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to double check, you're more than welcome to. But I'm telling you, it's all right.
Thank you. Job service specifically, or the whole department? Or?
There's the link. Sorry I spaced out. Anybody's more than welcome to come up at any time, give their comments, point of views, and thoughts. Thank you.
Just what's available for the public.
Oh,
So,
okay.
can I ask who you checked with?
My supervisor.
the supervisor of the. All right, can I ask that name of that person?
Tim, hang on a second.
This is our supervisor.
This is no. I was just wondering who she checked with to make sure it was all right that it was filming here. That's all.
Oh, we'd actually, it's not allowed.
What's not allowed?
So you can't film within the office. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. If you want.
This
to make
office
contact
open.
with someone,
This
please
office is
do.
open to the public.
It is.
Well, then there shouldn't be a problem.
What's your business?
Me? Oh, I'm just working on story in the labor department.
Morning, Nubs. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, we're
Just
doing
hanging out.
awesome.
It's fucking cold this morning.
Yeah, it's been cold here, cold and wet for the last, I don't know, week or two.
It's like just at freezing, and like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I would have been fine with this. But we had a 70 and 80 day in between there. I got a fucking sunburn. Now I'm fucking cold as shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how it can go 70 one day and then 30 the next day or whatever.
Well, when you put the X in the sky and they make it fly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see your breath. I can tell it's fucking cold.
Might be my cigarette smoke.
I don't know. Well, you're not smoking, and I've seen stuff coming out of your mouth right now. So,
Oh, yep, you can see the breath.
yep.
It's such a commonplace, I don't even pay attention.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I just been sharing some videos this morning. Hasn't been too much going on in chat, so I just figured I'd spread the news.
What was that last one about? The 10-year-old? What did the cop do?
The cop, right after they pulled over his dad, they put the 10-year-old in cuffs.
Yeah, he shot him?
No, he put the 10-year-old in cuffs.
For what?
Well, because he's a 10-year-old boy and he could hurt that officer.
It's fucking terrorism.
It was the safety for the child and the officer. What the hell are you thinking, Nubs?
You know, this word's safety. This word's safety. It's not what you think it means, definitely.
Oh, come on. The safety of the officer is the only safety that's important here. What the hell are you thinking?
Well, if that's the case, then why is it that the officer signed up to do a dangerous fucking job? It's counterproductive, literally. By example, like if I say I'm going to finish a job, but then I'm too scared to fucking do that job, I don't get paid for that fucking job.
Well,
I don't sit there and put 10-year-olds and fucking grown-ass old women in fucking handcuffs. And grown men.
If you go to dig a hole and you grab a shovel, that shovel might hurt you, so you might want to put that shovel down because you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, for landscaper safety.
Well, yeah, exactly my point.
Like, seriously, what kind of grown man can go home and after doing something like that, what kind of grown man goes home and looks at his wife and says, "Damn, baby, I sure worked hard today.
I arrested 3 6-year-olds, 8 10-year-olds, and
4 90-year-old women. Yeah.
90-year-old women, yeah. But I came home safe, and that's all that matters.
Like, seriously, I really want to know, are you that fucking scared in society? Should I be more scared? I mean, like, let's be honest. They're 1 in a million. I'm like everyday Joe, so there's a lot more of us than there are of them. Who should be scared? I should be scared. Like, for fuck's sakes. I don't mean to get on here and just start fucking ranting, but that is ridiculous. You put my son in handcuffs. You attempt to kidnap my son, causing loss, injury, and harm. That child is never going to look at the police department ever again. You want to make a fucking enemy? Right there, arrest a child for doing nothing. Guaranteed that kid, if he lives a life like the rest of us, I can almost guarantee, almost, because I don't know, that young man will end up either becoming a cop and destroying policing or doing other things, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, that's like one of the very first video I showed was of Here's the Deal, and it was a recording of official. This guy was going to city meetings, and he felt like there was meetings going on, secret meetings. So he left a recording device in the room, and sure enough, they had a secret meeting, and they were talking about how they were going to kill these reporters.
That would be terrorism. That would be like, see, the thing is they get nailed with like fucking petty larceny and fucking receiving stolen goods. No, that's fucking terrorism. The other one that it is it's also treason. And I know for a fact that the federal government has obligations to do these things. Like, what the fuck is this shit? And if it's not that they're being held for treason, why is that? Because if you give an oath and then you are treasonous towards your oath, etc., like, it just doesn't fucking make sense. I have no problem volunteering to build the damn structure we need. You know, like, no worries. I'll donate some fucking material. Hell, I'm going to the hardware store now. I'm not the one that's going to be responsible for it because it's their actions. I don't know. It's just 20 years or life is pretty fucking specific, or up to 20 years, or even like their life. I don't know. I just personally, I don't think we're going to get much change until that kind of stuff, that drastic stuff starts happening. I don't want to do it. I'm not a man of peace, or excuse me, I'm not a man of war. I'm a man of peace. Nevertheless, with that being said, if somebody's attacking you, don't you have a responsibility to yourself and to your fellow man to make sure that you're okay? Not just okay. I mean, take it for instance yourself, Larry. Like, they fucked you up. That's terrorism. They were not accountable. That's that's treason. But we want to go after them for some fucking fiat because that's what we need to survive in today's society. And I'm not saying that that's the wrong thing to do. It's just not the whole thing to do. You know, there a police officer that shoots and kills somebody for no fucking reason other than his fucking ego got damaged should be sentenced to death. An eye for an eye, a fucking tooth for a tooth.
Well, everything that's going on is on the up and up because, you know, we police ourselves and we are the police of police. So we policing the right way, and the right way is the right way because we say it's the right way.
You know, I know something or a thing or two about the right way. I'll shoot you a text and so you fully understand.
Well, you know, I'm just being.
No. I'm serious about this.
Oh, I know you are. I'm just being silly over here, though.
I know.
Yeah, like this morning, I played another video about how the UN wants to make it sex legal so we can have sex with anybody we want because, you know,
Of course they do. They're a bunch of pedophiles.
If we can't have sex with whoever we want, then that's, you know, taking away our rights and stuff. So,
well, you know, rights come with these things called responsibilities, morals, ethics, values, etc. And if those are not applied, you know, God can give you rights, but you can get them taken away. You know, when it comes to certain things, there are definitely certain things like fucking around with children.
The
Don't you
only
know?
thing that matters is the pocketbook, and what I say is right, and that's all that's right is right.
Well, it's the worship of mammon. If you really think about it, it's all the worship of the dollar. Because if the dollar didn't exist, we'd figure out something else.
Well, isn't it called the old mighty dollar for a reason? Come
It's
on now.
only it's only mighty because we give it that might. If it
Yeah.
had, yeah,
Imagine.
like, and that's what people really just don't understand is if we just stop, you know, what are they going to do? You know, they can't kill us all. They can't jail us all. You know, I'm not looking to bring up other people, but Paul is absolutely right about a lot of what he speaks on. Hang on one second. Excuse me. Where would I find Tapcons? Would that be here or over in hardware?
That's going to be in hardware. It's
Perfect.
Going to be in 5.
Thank you. Thank you. My bad.
No big deal. What was that you were looking for?
Tapcons.
What's that?
It's a hardened screw that you put into concrete or stucco.
Oh, okay. Like a lag screw.
Basically, yeah, it's a name brand lag screw. I've got to put a dryer vent in. What the?
Damn vents, what are they good for anyway over there venting shit? How dare they?
I don't know. Like I said, Larry, I'm not trying to jump up on your, or excuse me, I'm not going to continue to jump on and just complain about things that we can't change. Son of a bitch. Nevertheless, if you know, we always talk about, well, what are we going to do? What have we done? That's the better question. If you can't look back on your life and see specific places where you were consistent in improving yourself, what the fuck is the point? You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And it's not, I'm not saying these things to throw anybody under the bus. Oh fuck yeah, they have little packs. Because I'm just as guilty of these things as the next person. You know, like I am not exclusive on this one. Ooh.
Well, I think we
Let's see,
all have been
45.
or another.
Okay, listen to this. So I can buy 10 of these screws for $159, or I can buy 45 of them for $3.29. Actually, you know what? I don't need that many.
But you'll have them for next time.
That's normally my thought, but that means I've got shit in my truck.
But you
And
see,
I buy all this stuff.
You got to think about your time going back and forth and the gas you spent going back and forth. And if you just
No,
have
because
them
that's
now,
all equated.
you have them for later. And if you have them for later, then that means you don't have to come back again.
Larry, that's all equated. And it's probably equated that I spend $1.59 on those screws because I'll still have 5 left over. Or 6, rather. It's just one of those little things on business that, I don't know. It makes sense in the long run if you think about it. Where the fuck are their corner beads? Because if I'm charging my customer, okay, let's say this job cost me or let's say I'm bidding this job out at $400, right? Just a hypothetical. Obviously, that's not what it is, but oh shit, that's right. Trims at the house. That's good. I don't need that. If I come to your house, I charge you $400 to do this job, and I go out and I spend that extra, $2 on every single product, and there's 100 products that I'm going to need. 3, 4, 5. Hang on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's say there were 100 products and I bought the extra little bits on everything. I just spent $200 on my $400. I've got all my material, but that was half of the cost. Shouldn't have been a half of the cost. Should have been a third of the cost, if that. My labor should be what's in value, or what is valuable.
Well, plus
So
your time.
that's part of when I say labor, it's one and the same to me, because time is labor and labor is time. Give me 1 second here. Shit, I forgot my fucking stilts at the house. I guess life goes on, like the song says, right?
Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
I don't know. But do you get what I'm saying, though, with, like, if we're able to look back on our quote unquote successes and failures? For instance, when I pass, the lineage that I leave is going to be left to my son. Well, having gone through and done the whole mom death thing and finding out those little things, sure, we can call that fun. But when you find out the bad information about your parents and stuff, like that's a different category. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I just look at it where, if we're going to leave a legacy, do we really want to leave a legacy where grown-ass men are okay with other grown-ass men putting children into handcuffs because the grown-ass man was scared? Like, what kind of legacy are we encouraging here? Because somebody's feelings got fucking hurt? Like, honestly, it's fucked up as it sounds. I wouldn't be having too much of a problem if we had a reset. Like, fucking the stars just fell on the sky and just everything resetted.
Well, like I said many times before, I know for a fact when I was a kid, and I've seen training videos of, so-called police officers when I was a kid, and they're like, if you have to pull your gun out, when you shoot to injure. You shoot them in the leg, you shoot them in the arm, so then we
Larry,
can go accordingly. Nowadays, it's shoot to kill.
Well, that's because dead men tell no stories.
That's kind of my point.
If you can tell stories, you've got an issue. Because that means that they have to be accountable. When a grown man puts a 10-year-old in cuffs, I don't get me wrong, I'm not saying in all situations, because I don't know all situations. However, it didn't. I was listening to the video, and I didn't feel that that young man was causing any loss, injury, or harm, or any reason to be concerned, even in the first place. Where the fuck are the blinds?
Well, it's funny too because the superior told him to take the cuffs off the kid. He's like, "Oh, well, I was going to do that, but I was taking him to my car to do that."
Yeah, I was going to do that. You didn't. So
So we're
we'll
going to
go with
take
on what you did.
we're going to take him out of the cuffs and then lock him in the car to make sure he's really safe.
Right, right, absolutely. Because we're going to kidnap that young man. That's what that is. That is kidnapping. That is a act of violence. That is an act of war. And you know, when we're talking war, people die because of war. But yet these men are not accountable for their acts of war. Like it literally, the amount that this could potentially make is zero. You know, can a 10-year-old pull a gun? Yes. Can a 10-year-old shoot an officer? Yes. Absolutely. I grew up in the fucking hood. I was a hell of a kid at 10. Is it likely? Not so much. Not so much. You know, let's be honest. We had an officer over, I think it was Ohio. An officer shot one of the officers. So, you know, like anything's possible, I guess. Where the fuck? You would think you would be able to find some blind.
Find some what?
Blind. You know, the think those.
You were kind of in and out, so I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, excuses.
I know. If I had $1 for every one, I'd be a rich motherfucker.
Well, you listen to that book and you apply those principles. You might have $1 for everyone, because you could make up an idea that gave you $1 for every excuse that somebody made. Lord, they've got a leak in their ceiling. Let's see here.
That
Blind.
can't be any way structurally, you know, it's not causing the structure any damage, so don't worry about it.
Actually, on these buildings, it really, long run, that will be revamped and it'll normally be fixed correctly. I've worked for this company on a corporate level. It's a really well run business, not well, but it's not well run, if that makes sense. Business wise, very well run.
I was just going to say, if it was well run, the leak wouldn't have happened in the first place.
No, what it is as far as the buildings and material, but as far as what they're supposed to do by like servicing the customer and stuff like that, not so much. I need the pull down blinds.
Well, most of the problem with most of these businesses I see nowadays is they short staff the business so bad that there can be no customer service because they're all trying to do 10 people's job for one person.
That's it. Cordless. I need the fuck. Give me 1 second. I need to talk to somebody.
There you go again, looking for that customer service. How dare you?
She did not know.
Of course not.
No, she is doing her job. She doesn't work in this department, I don't think, or she does stocking. That was probably more on me. I do not want custom order blinds because that
Again,
is.
she didn't find somebody that did know.
Oh yeah, she did. She pointed me into her direction. She did her job, and she was cute.
Ah.
Good times had by all. Where the fuck?
uh.
That was funny.
What's that?
We were talking about these windows, and the blinds themselves are like $120. And one of the things about Menards is they do 11% rebate on things. So if you
You're
buy
robot.
something for $100, you there?
Now I am.
All right. So they do this. It's an 11% back. Well, we buy thousands of dollars. You know, for you, it probably wouldn't make sense to send 39-cent stamp for $1.50, but our rebate checks are normally a couple of $100 at any given time. So we buy stuff for the house, for our personal houses, and those blinds were like $130. Well, the rebate that I have for the material that I'm buying is $130. So I'm like, yeah, no, not happening. He can deal with it. It's my business partner, and his concern is that he can't go in front of the windows, you know, when he's waking up, and his bed is by the windows without, you know, covering the windows. And I was like, dude, you're on the 3rd fucking floor. Who the fuck is looking at your little Willie? So I'm going to tell him I'm not spending $350 on your fucking little Willie when I ain't getting none. Well,
Not
bastard.
even a reach around, damn it.
Yeah, he doesn't give me nothing. Anyways, I need to check my list one more time here. Corner beads, tap cons, blinds. Oh, hardwire smoke detector. All right. Back to electrical. I've been all over this fucking store today. So other than watching videos about treasonous pieces of shit that are willing to touch on little 10-year-olds and put them in cuffs, what are you up to this afternoon, evening, whatnot?
A lot of it depends on. It looks like it's going to be a rainy day again, so probably not going to do too much outside. Uh, been working on one of my batteries. My BMS Bluetooth isn't working right, so I'm been working on that. Got a couple other things in the house I need to do, but that's about it.
Never really. It just sounds like a bad idea.
Uh,
Never replacing batteries on a smoke detector.
oh. Yeah, most
I
of
could
them are hardwired now.
even then have
And to me, that doesn't really make sense because if you have a fire, and that means your wires in your house are going to probably get burnt up. And if your wires get burnt up, that means you have no fire alarm.
That's the whole point of having them on a separate backup battery. Like the whole point is for the chirp to happen so that you know the
That's kind of my,
battery is good.
yeah, that kind of was my point. But
Yeah, like it's ironic. It is truly ironic. And maybe work if the batter or if the wire is, like uncoated.
fire or something, yeah.
Nevertheless, uncoated and gone are two different things.
Yeah.
Smoke alarm. So do I
Well,
spend
if you
the
look at most of these government housing, all their damn fire alarms are hardwired in. They don't have batteries anymore because, oh, it costs too much money to replace those batteries.
well, if you think about it in like a Section 8 housing situation, those people are there because they're not able to be responsible with finances for the most part. There are your occasional not the same. Nevertheless, it's not like it's not like they're generally conscientious of general maintenance. Like just not some I've known plenty of people that have lived in those kind of houses and well they're not necessarily bad people, but they're not great at those kinds of things. They have their benefits in other places, if that makes sense. Smoke alarm,
Yeah,
smart
well,
alarm.
in those houses, they don't have. I mean, low housing does all the maintenance for them. They come in once a year and check all your outlets and make sure
Right.
everything's working. And they fix everything that needs to be fixed, but at the same time, like you're saying, what's happened is they've gotten trained, for lack of better words, that they don't have to be responsible for themselves and their living situation.
Right. This one, well, holy shit. This one is a Wi-Fi, which is great for not for my house, but it's great for a rental property because that's the connector I need. So that's what we're gonna move. Your wireless alarm. Interesting. So 3 cheap ass ones and one that's like $40, but it's smart. So if anything happens over at the unit, then we get an automatic emergency update to our cell phones and we can already be on the road when the fire department goes. I like that concept, Larry. What do you think?
I try not to because it overloads the brain circuits.
Well, there you go, trying again. So how's those overloaded brain circuits working if you're not trying?
There's smoke as we speak.
They are putting those fucking smart technologies into fucking everything.
Well, yeah, because then we can monitor you and spy on you and listen to you and watch you and
They can literally tell if your fucking smoke alarm is going off in your rental unit.
well, of course.
Only because I buy it, though. It's all by consent.
Well, yeah, you're giving them consent to spy on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, heaven forbid, we can't govern ourselves. We have to do it for you.
Absolutely.
All in the name for safety.
Can't believe I forgot my stilts. What was I thinking, Larry?
You weren't.
Hello?
You weren't thinking.
What the hell?
Hell the what?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm right here. You can't hear me?
Hey, I'm going to check out and I'll jump back up here in just a minute.
All right, man.
Well, I'll stay up and I'm not going to be available. So if you want to play a video or whatever.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get back to the one we were showing earlier. That the video is brought to you by Let's Go Viral. The name of the video is called Cop Egos Hunt When He Can't Make an Arrest. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment and educational and fair use. Thank you. Wait, wrong thing, damn it.
Here, getting a view of what's available to the public.
Okay, well, we have people that are responsible for media, so if you're interested, we can just push it down.
Oh no,
We can't
I don't
have
need
you
to. I don't need to talk to
recording anything
anybody.
within the office.
I don't need to talk to anybody.
Okay, well, I can't have you recording in the office.
Can I get your name?
Yep, my name is Jessica.
Jessica, and where were you informed that it's not allowed to be filmed in here?
The public are not allowed to film inside of our office.
Well, I'm not going in your office. I'm just in the publicly accessible area.
I am gonna have to ask you something.
Well, thanks for asking, but as soon as I'm done taking the photos of the publicly accessible areas, I'll probably be on my way.
Okay, well, you can leave or we can call the police.
I mean, if you need to call the police, you're more than welcome to, but the public's allowed to video record in publicly accessible areas because of the First Amendment of the Constitution.
We have a media department. We have a media department. You just have to clear.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying I don't need to talk. I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm just going to silently film what's available for the public here. That's all. Well, I'm just letting you guys know it's a constitutional right.
Right, you just have to clear through the media department. It's not our rules. We don't make up the rules here, but we have to follow them. This is our job.
We don't have to ask for our constitutional rights. Is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be disruptful. I'm just taking what's available to the public. I don't. I mean, it's your right to, but if you take your phone out and take a photo during work, your phone becomes foilable. Freedom of Information Law, New York State law, like while you're on duty, if you take your phone out, your personal phone.
Just for my bosses, and if the police ask, just in case, because they're being called right now, so they will be.
I'm just saying, if you take a picture with your personal phone while you're on the duty, your phone can become subject to FOIL in New York State, which is federal New York State law.
They can use my phone if something
Well,
comes up like that. I understand. Do you mind if I take your photo?
No, go ahead.
Can I get clear access of your face?
You take it. You do whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop you.
Okay, but I need to see your face. Okay. Thank you. You can't record back there, though.
Yeah, I'm not back there.
That's not the public area. You can't film there.
Yeah, I'm not back there. I'm in the publicly accessible area.
Okay, but you're filming in
Yeah.
the private area.
But you can agree that the people who are in this lobby, publicly accessible area, they can see back there, right? Through that window?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I'm just asking you.
I'm not going back there.
I'm just asking you not to.
Yeah, I understand. You guys keep asking me to leave and ask me to stop recording here too, but it's
Yes,
my
as soon as
constitutional
you're
right.
finished with your business, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. What's going on?
Not too much. Just working on a story on the labor department in the publicly accessible areas.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Just working on the story on the labor department in the publicly accessible areas.
Okay. So it sounds like they just don't want you here. It seems like you might be disrupting their
Oh no,
workday
I'm not.
or-
I'm not trying to disrupt anybody. Can I get your name is Mallow?
Mayo.
Mayo. You got a badge number?
17.
All right, thank you. No, I'm not disrupting. I'm just silently filming.
Okay, well, if they don't want you here,
So it's not really
they
how
can
how
kinda trespass.
that's not how trespass law works in public.
Well, if they want you removed from the property, they can have. It's just like say you were in 7-Eleven or whatever.
No.
and-
7-Eleven is not public. 7-Eleven is a private business.
Correct. How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good. So, if they don't want you here, what is the reason that you want to stay?
Well, what is the reason they want me to leave is the real question, because this is publicly accessible. It's open to the public, and I'm just here in public.
I understand that. I don't. Did you ask them? Okay. So
I think they got the policy. There can't be a policy that trumps the United States Constitution of freedom of the press. You guys understand that?
Okay. So
And trespassing from public is not the same as trespassing from 7-Eleven. That's private property. If they wanted a private property, I'd have to leave. But this is public, open to the public. Them asking me to leave, or you trying to trespass me? Trespassing in public is a secondary crime. Filming is not a crime, and being in public is not a crime. So I'm just gonna finish up a few more photos, and I'll probably be on my way. I got no reason to. I'm not causing a disturbance. I'm not trying to collect anybody's personal information doing their work here, and I'm not, asking these guys to take time from their day to help me. I'm just taking some photographs here, and I think
pause that for a sec, Larry.
Somebody to leave public without committing a crime.
All right, so they're harassing him for filming in public. Doesn't he have a body cam, and wouldn't he be accountable for that same standard? And doing the same exact thing. So any punishment that could be deemed would be also needing to be assessed to the man looking to do the punishment, because he is required to have a camera for accountability that they still attempt to manipulate.
He's doing his job. How dare you?
Yeah, just doing his job.
Anything but
10-year-olds and 90-year-old women. Officer safety. Seriously, the hypocrisy and just the stupid. I don't know. Maybe can help me out. Help me out on this one if you're still down in the chat. Please explain how this makes any kind of fucking sense. That'd be like a boxer in a boxing ring beating the shit out of each other and one saying, "No, you can't hit me."
Well, yeah.
Seriously, how dumb do you have to be in order to get to that level of am I sounding crazy? Legitimately, I'm questioning, because obviously it only makes sense that if you're filming somebody and you're there because they're filming somebody and you're giving them the short end of the stick, like, I mean, we could say hypocrisy, but we know that's there. We could say ego is there, and sure, I'll even go with that. But what's not there is, like, not even common sense, just any form of sense.
The only
mean,
people that have any rights are the police officers and governments. Nobody else has any rights, any way, shape, or form. So I don't know what the hell you're thinking, how you're thinking. It's all a bunch of conspiracy, damn it.
Well, even they gave us that. In the 60s, the CIA came up with I think it was the CIA, came up with this concept of a conspiracy theory. Like, all this shit's planned. All of it. Every bit of it.
Unless we say it's true, it's not true. Only if we say it's true is what's true, and that's true, and that's truth only.
And that's really actually how it works, if you think about it, because as a man speaketh, so is he, right? So if I speak to myself how I'm a great man, and then I do the actions of a great man, then I am a great man. But if I just talk about my actions and do another thing, that's hypocrisy.
Well, they only can do great things. So there, damn it.
They only have any ability because of us. So take that ability away for them. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't feel safe around an individual that is willing to be scared of an 11-year-old. Like, I just don't feel safe around. I don't think you should have them. If you don't have the mental capacity to handle yourself in that kind of situation, you really should not be in a position like that.
He was doing it for the safety of the child and himself. So it was for everybody's safety.
So why was the
How dare you
child
think otherwise?
why was the child at risk unless it was by the hand of the man with the gun?
Oh, you know, there could have been something going on somewhere that we just had to make sure he was safe was up there.
You know, you always hear people say, well, you're not a cop and you don't know what it's like. You're right. I don't. I won't, because I would never put a child in handcuffs. No worries.
All right, we'll get back to the video here.
More treason.
I don't think that's their concern. I think it's just unusual. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, they probably don't get that.
No, no.
You know, and I know that you're probably here to a piece for yourself just to kind of prove a point, which is fine.
No, I'm just, here to exercise my rights as freedom of the press, and at the end of the day, get some of the information here out.
It's just unusual for someone.
How do you pronounce your last name? Strickland. Do you have a badge number?
03.
You guys are both Lockport police?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Yeah, no,
so it's just unusual, to just come in and start filming. I don't think they get that every day.
No, I got it, and part of what I
as far as their
do.
policy goes, we don't work for them, so we're not quite sure what policy it is, and we certainly can look into that.
Yeah, I mean, the First Amendment right to
we're
film
not
in
sitting
public.
here we're not gonna drag you out of here in cuffs or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
of course
we're
not, because
looking to do.
I'd have to break a law to be put in the handcuffs. So.
Can I talk to you privately?
Do you think they feel as stupid as I see them
I'll be right with
in a situation like this?
So I think the main concern was just people's pride.
How could you ever think such? I'll tell you, Nubs. Your line of thinking this morning is just totally out of hand.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well,
I'm
it's
not
normally
taking
out of
anybody's
hand.
Personal
Jack's
information.
got me all inspired to do nothing.
It is a public
Just love. Love will heal all.
place. Back here is not public.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
that's by
course.
appointment only. So if you have an appointment, that's one thing. If you don't, that's something different. As far as paperwork that goes on around here, it does have people's personal information on it.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
saying you're
familiar with it.
going
I'm
up
trying
and
to, no.
zooming in or taking pictures of that, but that's something you can't do.
Yeah, of course.
So, are you almost finished?
Yeah, I'll
or
probably
is
leave.
it-
I'll probably leave right after you guys.
Okay, all right. Can I grab your information? Are you willing to give me that?
No, I don't wish to waive my
I
Fourth
figured
Amendment
as
right.
much. I figured as much.
But if I
Yeah,
could get a
yeah, I
account number,
figured you
account
were
number,
a normal
please.
American that wants his
As soon as we get
privacy.
the report done, you're more than welcome to come down and get it, sir. I'm not forcibly removing you from anywhere.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's go out
And
there
you
and
can
get that
stop-
number,
you can,
and
you can stop down at the station.
I got all the
I-
information I need here.
Okay, that's fine. We still have to talk to a couple people here, and then if you want to wait.
Is he He looks like a pregnant woman with all that shit on his fucking belly.
You can stop.
And
down
how
and
he's
get
holding
your
his hands and
information,
stuff.
okay?
Oh, look at my baby. My baby a treason.
Take your time.
My baby a treason.
I'm just putting my hands there so you feel safe, so you know they're not close to my weapon, sir.
All set?
Yep. I'm all set.
Look at him. He's like a pregnant woman. I swear to God. What the fuck?
Now, I know you guys don't have a report number, but you guys definitely have a call number on the computer. I can get that call number now so I can reference this
No, you
easier.
can go down to the station.
No, we're not
going
going to do anything for you.
The station when we complete the report, sir. I have no problem doing that.
Well, sir, can I get that call number from
Well,
you?
it's the same sort of thing.
Well, I know,
Like,
but you
could
guys
reach
got
down
a
at the
call here on your
station.
computer.
Yes, you can foil the report, but I'm more than happy to give you the report. Okay.
See if I can get that call number
Don't
myself.
open that door, okay.
See if I can't get that call number myself. Since you guys want to not be even,
Thank you.
That was a simple request to get that call
And
number.
it was, but the report's not complete. You want sufficient evidence of whatever you're doing? We'd be more than happy to provide that.
Well, all I'm asking for is the call number. It's nice and easy to reference a call number versus that.
You want the report though?
Well, yeah, but I can't get that right now, and you agree I can't get that right now.
Sir, I was more than happy to help you. Okay, but I think you're being difficult for a purpose, and you're not going to get.
Asking for a call number is not difficult. That's something to reference this by.
I don't even know if that's the right.
I would
don't, and that's why
reference
you should
it
just
by
give me
that situation with those
You don't have a call
treasonous
number to come- yeah, you
asshats
get dispatched
that don't know the fucking first thing about the law. That's how I'd reference that one.
That report as soon as you come down and get it.
Did you mute your body camera while you're in there talking?
Everything is on here. Sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's it.
Okay. You have yourself a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to click the links in the description for the full original video. Also visit the Auditing Erie County channel, get subscribed, and become part of the Erie County fam.
Whoever gets
Just another example of how they help us in every way, shape, or form. I am so thankful we have our officials out there monitoring our safety of all hours of the day.
When you give up your rights for security, you lose both and deserve neither.
Hey, there you go again, making too much damn sense. How dare
That's
you?
not my words. That's a former president.
How dare you make sense?
That's the words of the government.
You can't use our words against us. We can only use your words against you, damn it.
I just don't get why we put up with it as a society. Like, are we real? Like, I guess it's just a testament to the fact that we are so brainwashed. We're willing to do it. Openly willing. Here's my child. Put him on that burning altar.
I gotta let my dog outside. I'll be right back, man. Shit, it's cold out there.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up a little bit here. Or I just took off my my girly panties on that one. Either way.
Man, like it's out the damn North Pole out there.
No, come on, Larry. Come up to Minnesota. I'll show you what the fucking North Pole feels like.
Hey, I keep telling everybody I am what I eat. I'm a big damn pussy.
You keep on saying that, but you must starve when she's not there.
Well, yeah. All right. So I have another video here I could show. It's called, name of it, What If We Did What These Cops and Officials Did? Here's the
I'm in the truck, so I can hardly hear you, so it is what it is. Play the video.
all right, man. Please like, subscribe, and share. Here's the deal. This video is for entertainment, educational, and for you. Thank you.
Plotting to kill a couple of journalists because the journalists dared to expose some indiscretions within the sheriff's department. But you guys made some good points. One of them was that Kevin Stitt, who's our governor, the governor of Oklahoma, said that he wanted these people to resign their post. We can't have public servants out there doing this kind of stuff. And yet you guys pointed out, if it was us of the civilian class, non-law enforcement, non-sworn in, a SWAT team would have already surrounded our house, terrorized our family, shot our dog, done all the things that they could to get us locked up in a cage. See, it's not about... See, this is another example where it's rules for thee, but not for me, as far as from the perspective of law enforcement or a government official, a governor, a senator, a congressman, a sheriff, a police chief, just a regular police department employee. It should be, hey, we're all human beings, and a human being shouldn't sit around and plot the murder of another human being. If somebody put a device in our meeting, like in a homeowners association meeting, and a whole bunch of homeowners were, talking about, hey, I know a couple places where we could put Bobby in a deep hole, and a guy goes, I got an excavator. Hey, no need for the excavator. These holes are already pre-dug. Nobody will ever find out. If that recording ever got out to the public, they'd be wanting our heads on a platter. They'd want to drag us off to trial. They'd want to throw us into a cage, and rightly so, because we're obviously a danger to society. It's not about these sheriff's employees or the sheriff himself and the commissioners resigning from their positions because, hey, they're not fit to be public servants. They're not fit to be members of the public. If you're going to do this... And another thing you guys pointed out was this isn't the only time. This isn't a rare occurrence. This kind of thing happens all the time. They just happen to have gotten caught. That's why police don't want to be recorded, because they don't want their evil deeds to be brought to light. That's why it's so important to record them wherever you are, whenever you can, however you can do it. These people don't want to be brought to the light because they don't want their evil deeds to be shown in public, because they don't want to feel the sting of accountability for the crap that they do against us. So always record, always record. And then there's this other thing about, maybe this journalist will get in trouble for recording a private conversation. Well, it was supposed to be a public meeting, for one thing. And for two, are you going to gloss over the fact that they were plotting a murder so you can get after the guy who illegally recorded? If you illegally record somebody plotting the murder of another innocent person, I would think that the murder plot would take precedence over the indiscretion of, violating some kind of city ordinance to not record somebody who didn't know that they were recording. But maybe that's a story for another day. But you guys brought out, great points on the last video. None of us is greater than all of us. I always learn from you. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to and if you think it's valuable, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com, and I will see you in the next video.
How dare he say, that it's not important that we are being taped without us being known that we're taped. And murder, that's not important at all. The important thing is that they taped us and they didn't know that we were being taped. That's the only important thing here, damn it.
Well, I just passed a taping system that I can publicly access right there. Not a problem. I just passed it. So if we're concerned about videotaping, then we need to take all of them down and ban them completely. No movies, no Hollywood or Hollyweird, whatever it is. None of that shit. No security monitors. None of it. None of it. Get rid of it all.
Well,
and I'm not stalling.
Well, the worst part about their filming is they can release what they want to release. They cannot release anything they don't want to release. It's up to them what gets released and what doesn't get released and what's pertinent and not pertinent.
I've always said that same thing about the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so, on that one, it's kind of pretty ridiculous if you think about it, because if they're doing it now, it's not like there's anything new under the sun. So that means they've always been doing it. So what's different about the Bible? And let's take all of those great books into account. And I say great books, yes, because they are great books. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean they've not been manipulated. That doesn't mean that all of the, inherent truth is inherent truth. That's why I can listen to Jack say something smart and know that that thing that he said is intelligent, but the author, well, yeah. I do the same thing. I'm not even throwing anybody specifically under the bus without myself right there with. We're all fucking guilty of it. The difference is some of us own it and some of us don't. They apparently do not own that position.
You mean some of us hold ourselves accountable for our actions?
Yeah, it's a novel idea.
What a concept. I've never thought about that before.
It's kind of a trait of a leader.
Wow.
It is to be accountable for actions that are taken by not just you, but also the people that you represent as a leader. You know, novel idea. Why is it that everybody wants to drive so damn slow in the fast lane today?
All right. Well, we got another video here. The title is "The Worst Police Officer Ever Caught on Camera" by Unpopular Note. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
Of the law, the breakers of the law, it leaves a really bitter taste in the mouth. Whether it's cops who don't understand the extent of their powers, or even drunk driving cops, it's not just scary and cringeworthy, it's just so sad to watch. Here we are with videos of cops doing the worst. You have to tighten your seatbelts for this one. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one. I share new videos every other week, so be sure to click that notification button. Innocent bystander arrested for recording lawless policing, Killeen, Texas. One rule of thumb I trust very much is that the cops who scream blue murder when they're being recorded are cops doing something unlawful.
If you're a passenger, you don't have to identify.
In this video, you can hear someone on the sidewalk call out to the occupants of the car not maliciously, but to advise them on what the law says about their situation. If you're a passenger, you don't have to identify.
You are now breaking the law. You're interfering with the voice alone can't be deemed interference.
The lawless officers took offense at this, and one is quick to get in the bystander's face, screaming about how he's interfering.
I'm not trying to intimidate you. So why are you so close to me? Okay, give me your ID. You've interfered with an investigation. If you refuse to give me your ID, you're going to jail.
Watch as the victim explains that he hasn't interfered with anything, as a voice alone is not deemed interference. It's quite telling that the officer initially says move out of the way, but the next moment he demands an ID and places the victim under arrest. Is this the definition of power drunkenness? Worse still, they took his phone and turned it off as well. When police officers turned robbers, Texas. When these three constables were sent to serve an eviction notice, they totally became a caricature of what they were meant to represent. It's the worst thing you'll see when people who should uphold the law become the worst of themselves and steal from the citizens who they ought to protect.
Put them in my shirt.
To show how irresponsible they are, they didn't know one of their body cams had been turned on accidentally and captured the officers stealing items from the home where they'd served an eviction notice, from wristwatches to other valuables within the home. You can hear the female officer's excited voice as they comb through the house like low-life thieves.
We done got hot. They can come in. Ooh, yeah, just hot.
These are worse than thieves. They're worse than criminals, and the one comfort to take away from this is that they were made to face the consequences of their actions. Police solicits bribe in Johannesburg.
No, they weren't. That's treason.
The frame
That's
shows
an act
officers
of
of the
war.
Metro Police soliciting bribes from motorists. This is a rampant issue, and as you can see in this frame, this officer solicits a bribe from this individual who refuses and instead requests to see the officer's badge number.
So you saying that we can sort out like this? Yeah. Okay. So what happens if I say, "Can I get your badge number?"
He was arrested, and the police say the officer won't be dismissed for soliciting a bribe. It can only be dismissed when money changes hands.
If there's no money exchanged, then it can't be corruption.
Wait a
However,
second.
there
Wait
can
a
still
second.
be
Wait a second.
misconduct
Pause
on
that
the part
shit.
of the officer that can be investigated.
Sounds like they'd rather cover it up than take.
Wait a fucking second. There is case law that says about that specific thing. I do believe it's Terry v. Ohio. Literally, same thing. The intent was there. Wow. Wow, what a blatant arrogance and disregard for law and order. That's fucking treason right there. That is fucking treason. That man should, there's fucking hundreds of trees right around here. I'll donate the rest.
The law only applies to you guys. The law doesn't
No,
apply to us.
no, it doesn't.
How dare
That's
you
the thing.
think
I didn't fucking sign up for shit.
How dare you think otherwise?
That's so fucked up. That one was about as bad as the fucking 10-year-old. Except there's loss, injury, and harm. So it's actually, he is right. Those are some of the worst fucking cops. Fucking chipmunks on patrol. Out there rubbing up on somebody's fucking nuts getting something. Like, no wonder people don't want to become police officers in today's society. Just look at the examples.
Yeah, it's pretty
You know, when the children go out to play their games, they no longer play cops and robbers. They play illegal robbers and legal robbers. That's all right. That's fucking wow.
We'll go back to the video.
Take action. If this officer got away, the next frame shows officers who can't be excused on the same grounds as the lawless officer above. These officers stop a car from a traffic infraction, lead the occupants back to the police cruiser, and take money from them before driving off without issuing a ticket. These ones have been suspended and will face a disciplinary committee. Hopefully the committee won't be made up of similar men. Are you afraid of the cameras, officer? Police are there to protect you, but when they begin to move the cameras away to hide their activities, you know they're not really there to serve and protect. You can see how this officer is worried about cameras in the store. His movement, the furtive eyes constantly moving about, and his general body language show that he doesn't want cameras capturing whatever he and his colleagues from narcotics are doing. Now he actively tries to reposition the camera and fails. He'll try once more when his colleagues come out of the hole, and this time he succeeds and the video ends. Can you hear him say, "I've got like 7 to 8 eyes"?
I got like 7 or 8 eyes. Yeah, all right.
He continues. There's one outside, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the aisle, and there's one here somewhere.
There's one out, listen to me, there's one outside, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the aisles, and there's one right here somewhere.
Why would cops be wary of cameras? Your guess is as good as mine. Officer drunk driving, Michigan. This off-duty lieutenant, Brian Philip Hayek of the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department, is clearly extremely drunk.
The reason why I'm stopping you is we got multiple reckless driving calls about you.
It's visible in his demeanor and disposition as the officers question him. You'd think that an officer of the law should know how bad it is to drink and drive, but apparently this one doesn't.
I'm going to ask you to step out of the vehicle.
The officer is stopped and says that he's gotten multiple 911 calls reporting a drunk driver. Watch the officer try to use his privilege to get out of this, but the arresting cop is not having any of it.
I'm not losing my career over you.
This video shows us both sides of the police.
It's
the
not
good
about the
and
fucking
ugly.
people. It's
This
I'm
will make
not
you lose
losing my
my
career over you.
So I'm going to ask you one more time. Step out of the vehicle nicely for me.
The lieutenant refuses to get out of his vehicle for a very long time, hoping to convince the officers to let him off the hook because he's a fellow police officer as well. It takes the threat of being tased to get him out of the vehicle. Brutal police behavior. Detroit. When this police officer pulled this driver over, the usual exchange between a driver and cop is expected to take place.
What's going on? I'll be happy to tell you once I see who I'm talking to, all right?
But what happens is a show of ego and a messy arrest that could have been managed better if the officer didn't think he had absolute authority to do as he pleases.
I need you to let me know, like, what's going on, like, what happened? I'd be, like I said, I'd be happy to tell you once I see information.
He asks the driver for identification, and the driver asks to know what his offense is. The officer isn't obliged to answer the driver's question. He should do as he's told and not ask counter questions. Classic dictator vibes, but that's the least of it.
I'm not giving you my information until you tell me what you pulled me over for.
Now the officer is determined to teach the driver a lesson in manners and calls reinforcements. The arrest is a full-blown violent affair where the officer shatters the glass with his hand and forcefully pulls the driver out of the car with the help of his partner. We can't show all that violence, but it is painful to think that officers would rather escalate an issue instead of de-escalate issues.
Of course they
The law
would.
clamps
That way
down
they
on
get
corrupt
vacation
duty
time
task
and get
force
paid.
members. Baltimore. The crimes of these cops are similar to the rap sheets of some of the worst criminals you'll ever know.
You have a gun in Probably, I would say 2.25 just by looking at it.
Detective Marcus Taylor, the leader of the Baltimore Police Gun Chase Task Force, was handed an 18-year jail sentence for his crimes. These include planting fake evidence, 10 armed robberies, falsifying overtime, and selling $1 million worth of drugs, including prescription medications looted from pharmacies. With a list like this one, you know that this is no police officer, but lawbreakers worse than the criminals they have sworn to protect the people against.
7 years later, we find out that corrupt cops who swore to protect were nothing more than criminals.
A member of the task force was also handed a 25-year sentence, and while he apologized to the people in court, an apology many will take with a pinch of salt. Confidence in the police is shaky at best, and with officers like these, one wonders if we can ever trust the police.
Nope,
First
one
an
does not
abuse, then a
wonder.
lie. A corrupt officer at Homestead is captured on video shoving an inmate headfirst into a wall.
We're not going to tolerate this kind of behavior from our police officers.
You can see the officer escorting the inmate into the booking area. While in the booking area, we see no provocation, no exchange of words, no attempt to escape from the handcuffed inmate when suddenly the officer shoves him behind and slams him headfirst into a concrete wall. We can't show you that moment of impact. It's too graphic. The inmate had to be taken to the hospital because he began to bleed in the head.
We are charging Homestead Police Officer Lester Brown with felony battery, which is a third-degree felony, and official misconduct, which is also a third-degree felony.
The officer lied about the incident on his arrest report, saying the inmate was combative and tried to attack officers, all of which are lies as the video shows. It's important to note that this inmate wasn't a hardened criminal, but was rather arrested for drunken, disorderly conduct. An unnecessarily rough arrest. Miami.
Well, then they should be beating the shit out of that
In the
last
first frame of
fucking
this
cop.
video, the first thing you notice is that the man being arrested is offering no resistance at all. You can see him raise his hand and go to the ground quickly with an officer pointing a gun at him. Almost immediately, a swarm of cops troop into the room and pile upon the man who's already lying on his face with his hands stretched out in front of him. There's at least 20 officers in that huddle trying to arrest one man who's already surrendered and was lying on his stomach. It's overkill, and when something like this happens, you're certain that the officers involved will do worse to the individual.
It was just unfathomable. It was unspeakable. It is just inexcusable.
It's scary to witness, and what's scarier still is that no one among this large number of officers had the presence of mind to say, "Stop, take it easy, he's still a human being." Blind man arrested for possession of...
We're not fucking human beings. We're animals. Code.
Apparently the police in Florida have
Pause
upgraded a cane
that.
to join the list
Press
of well-known lethal weapons.
I've seen this one. Man arrested for having a cane. A blind man arrested for having a cane.
He sued their asses and won.
Yeah, I know.
No, but did you see Wizard's fucking post yesterday about animals and humans?
I saw the post, but I didn't watch it. I haven't been really spending too much time on here.
You should definitely watch that clip. It's a good clip. Very honest clip. Because we're all a bunch of fucking animals, according to the government. So that's why when they beat the shit out of one guy that got caught for drinking and driving, if that other guy has a little fucking badge, I won't lose my fucking career over you. You know, they won't even fucking touch themselves. So why the fuck do these people run around as if they have some kind of authority that we, like, literally, it is literally by consent. I remove my consent. I'm done. Like, seriously, this is ridiculous. Yeah. As a society, if we don't stand up for ourselves, we're done. And it's not like we even have a real way to do it now. I don't claim to have any of the fucking answers, and I don't think violence is necessarily the answer. But it's not the answer. You know, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you got a shiny badge and you punch me, I'm doing something.
Now, come on now. As long as the man with the badge is stomping on your head, that's the only thing that matters is that we're doing the stomping.
I don't need to stomp to make my fucking point or my issues known. I'm not a 5-year-old. Like, seriously, this is just The more you look into society, the more you see the degradation. And it's not like the criminals are any, like the common man is not any fucking better. Like, not any better. I don't know.
All right, I got.
I'm going to jump off anyways.
All right, man. You take care.
All right, peace.
In this video, we see a blind man being asked to identify himself based entirely upon the suspicion that he was carrying a concealed weapon. When he whips out the alleged concealed weapon, it appears to be the cane that he uses to find his way because he's legally blind. These officers are undeterred and go ahead to arrest the blind man when he insists that he has no reason to identify himself. The most heartbreaking part of this whole debacle is that the man being harassed was coming from jury duty. He was a totally law-abiding citizen who had just performed his civic duty, receiving this sort of treatment from the police, which is really quite pathetic. Don't flip off cops, says cops. The police can be seen cruising when someone apparently flips the officer the bird. The officer takes offense and stops to ask, "Why did you give me the finger?"
Why you give me the finger? What? What's your problem? What? Why you give me the finger?
The young man maintains he didn't commit a crime and begins to walk away, but not before swearing loudly, which infuriates the cops even more.
For what reason? Because you're giving me the finger. That's legal. No, it isn't.
He goes after the boy and places the cuffs on him for cussing, which is stupid, I know. We can't see much after this as the cop quickly switches off his body cam. He finally turns on the body cam when backup comes and the officer invents a good number of bogus charges, including public disturbance and
uncooperative.
When you are cursing in public, you are causing a public disturbance. You're being a nuisance to the public.
In what way? When he was driving past?
This would be hilarious if it wasn't such a blatant abuse of power. The best part of it is that the individual knows his rights and won't let them intimidate him. The police breaks the law too, Florida. The man in the video is determined to make sure that the police operate on the same laws which they enforce. This determination is fed by a belief that cops break laws as well, and to prove it he equips his car with cameras and drives through town trying to capture cops breaking the law. One of his cameras is able to capture the video and measure speed as well as using that camera. He was able to capture the police officers breaking the speed limit for no apparent reason. He caught a Tampa officer doing 73 on a 50-mile-per-hour zone and a Pasco deputy doing 92 in a 55 zone. He's reported these to the police, but so far no disciplinary action has been taken to keep these officers in check.
22-25. That might be my biggest win ever here on Atlantis. Beautiful. Another.
An officer makes jest of a woman, Toronto, Canada. You can hear two officers laughing and making fun of a woman. One says, "I couldn't see her," and the other replies, "She's a little disfigured." And they laugh heartily.
What?
That's gonna be my new code word.
The kind of derisive laughter that hurts deeply, but that wasn't the end of it. The officer continues, disfigured or different. Artistic, that's going to be my new code word. Different. They laugh some more, louder, cracking laughter at a woman. Can you guess what the woman in question suffers? Down syndrome.
I feel hurt and really hurt my feelings.
A genetic condition over which she has absolutely no control. Citizens are told to trust the police. With characters like these, how do they expect us to trust them? Officers mistreating citizens, Washington, D.C. In many of the frames in these videos, we see a lot of inappropriate behaviors from officers of the law. These videos were all body cam footage leaked online that show cops wrongfully arresting a National Guardsman. In another frame, you see an officer FaceTiming a friend to make fun of a man passed out on the floor. As an officer of the law, you'd think his first reaction would be concern for someone like that, but no, he chose ridicule. In the last frame, an officer is seen slapping a mobile phone out of a man's hand. The phone shatters on impact. Are they protectors or something worse? Turn the camera off, please. St. Louis, Missouri. We've seen this before. A cop trying to hide whatever they're doing from the cameras designed to keep their excesses in check. Here you see officers at the St. Louis Police Department drag a man out of his car. I count more than 5 cops in there, but that's not the most interesting part. Notice a police officer walking back to the car? He speaks to the others as he reaches the car. Everybody hold up, we're red right now. This means the cameras are on and everything they're doing is being recorded. So if you guys are worried about cameras, just wait. The video ends here because the officer turned the camera off. You understand these cops know what they're doing was unlawful and wanted to keep it hidden. Another dictator spotted. He gets scared when a cop says, "I've got the right to do anything I want to do. I'm a police officer." You can see the look on this cop's face, and what's his reason for harassing these men? They're acting suspicious.
caught you're acting suspicious.
About what? We was in there shopping.
I said, show me your driver's.
You'll cringe when you notice the officer finds them suspicious because they're black and just emerged from a mall after shopping. He states that he's off duty, which makes you wonder why he's stopping motorists in the first place. This has to be racial, or like the driver said, maybe his wife left him. Who knows? Before we play the last clip, I'm sure you've been enjoying everything so far, so why don't you consider subscribing to the channel? We post 2 new scary videos every week, so subscribe and click the notification button so you stay up to date with new releases. Officers protecting dirty officers. Griffin, Georgia. The power of the police to be vindictive is made very plain in this case where a private citizen turned whistleblower against one of their own. The Griffin police officer had committed a crime for which he wasn't charged. Of course, his department was quick to find him innocent, but Will Sanders, a regular citizen, took it upon himself to reveal what's hidden. He recovered some vital pieces of evidence that the officer had hidden and shared it with the Griffin Police Department, who investigated and got a confession from the police officer in question. But here's the catch. When the officer was charged in court, the police hid some important information and he ended up a free man with no jail sentence. That's not the end of it. The police promptly went after Will Sanders, the whistleblower. They got a bogus warrant to read his private Facebook messages. According to them, it's in relation to 2 commercial burglaries, but anyone with an eye can see what's really going on here is a witch hunt.
You're like, you're real choppy. You're going to have to go out and come back in.
Is that better?
Much better, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything to make your stream better.
Well, we got another, one more video here, and the title of this video is Cops Challenge the Driver to a Fight. This got ugly fast, and this is brought to you by We the People University. Please like, subscribe, and this video is used for entertainment and educational purposes only and fair use. Thank you.
I wish we didn't have to do that. If these people put that shit up there publicly or on any public outlet that we can access, then you know what? We should be able to use it as we want.
The biggest thing is they give you an option to share it. So it's okay to share it. You can't show it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. You can share it, but you can't actually use it or play it.
I will when you get a supervisor out here.
Ow.
Yes, you will, because your driving was what instigated this.
Ow.
Yes, it was. Nope.
You're just gonna put your family in danger over here for
it? You put my family in danger when you almost sideswiped me. What's your name and badge number? Okay.
Get him.
And I don't have to give you
Go.
one.
We can play the name game. The no-name game. What?
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abaya Israel, former police officer, former sheriff's deputy. As you guys can see, I'm not sitting at my desk. I'm actually down in Orlando, Florida. I'm making a move from Georgia back home to Florida. I'm originally from South Florida, so forgive me if there's a little background noise. I don't have my microphone or anything else, but in the midst of this move, someone sent me a video that I just had to share with you guys. It's a video of a Houston police officer challenging a driver to a fight. This is one of the most disrespectful videos I think I've shared on this channel. And I had to show you guys because I myself, and hopefully you will as well, give the Houston Police Department let's say, a phone call to tell them how well their officer performed when he's doing his job. Sarcasm.
Not
I want to
yeah,
share this
they
with you
say
guys. Please put your
perform, but
comments down
not
below.
behave.
I look forward
They
to
don't
reading them.
behave,
Even if
they
I can't
perform.
respond to every comment, I do try and read
Mm-hmm.
most of the comments. Sometimes the comments they build very fast. But I do look forward to reading your comments, and I definitely look forward to seeing your thoughts about this video. Not going to say too much right now. Let's jump into this, and you tell me what you think.
They don't want to know what I
drive?
think.
You didn't even put the fucking signal on me. You don't put your camera on.
It is on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you need?
I need your driver's license.
No, I'm not. I didn't commit any crimes. I didn't commit a crime.
You were flicking me off.
So that's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That's the First Amendment. That's not against the law.
Yeah. And that's
Nope.
road rage right there.
That's not road rage. No, it isn't. Okay, get
Are you kidding me?
I am good. I did get upset because you
What?
almost sideswiped me, you dumbass. You did. You cut me off. Exactly, and you almost hit me. So get a supervisor. I want a supervisor.
Are you gonna get?
I wonder if the car cam was turned off too.
Yes, you will, because your driving was what instigated.
Lock your door, buddy.
Yes, it was. Nope.
You're just gonna put your family in danger over here for it?
You put my family in danger when you almost sideswiped me.
No, I didn't.
What's your name and badge number?
I don't need to give it to you.
Okay. Then I don't have to give you mine.
Man, when I used to be a badass, I wish a cop would have taken me on.
Tell me what you were training over there.
Like, take the gloves off, fuck boxing.
Yeah, you were over there flicking me off.
Uh-oh.
It's freedom of speech.
Yeah, but you want to do it in front of my face?
So?
You want to step out of the car and do that?
No, fuck you. I'm not stepping out of nowhere.
Mhm.
That's your supervisor. Fuck you. You're the fucking. You can't even give me your badge number or your ID.
You want to step out?
What? And if I do, I'm not going to. What's your badge number and your name?
And let's keep in mind, he's got family, too.
Badge number, asshole.
Oh, yeah. He's one of those cops that needs to beat down to be to you know. Oh, wait, I didn't say that. He's a bad cop. How about that? Wait, a terrible representative of the police force of wherever this is.
You asshole. You stupid ass little. You pussy.
All right, guys, as we saw that video, that was horrible. One of the most disrespectful videos I've seen by a police officer. You're going to actually challenge a driver to a fight because he gave you the middle finger. It's called the First Amendment. It's called freedom of speech. He can express himself however he wants. You have no right to trample upon his rights. So again, I look forward to seeing what you guys thought about this video. Hopefully we can let his department know just how well and how professional he really was as a police officer. Don't let these guys step on your rights. And as I always say, if you don't use your rights, you're going to lose your rights. With that being said, University, signing off.
Thank you for joining We the People
Like
University.
anything else, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Share, please click the link in the video description. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so that you may be notified when we publish future videos. Also, don't forget to download Cancel Tyranny version 2 and learn your basic rights when there is no time to Google. Available now on Apple and Android. And if you ever wondered about what really happens behind the scenes within the police department, check out my other channel titled Coptails 236 to hear all of my stories about my time and experience while working as a cop. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you for listening.
Aaron stepped up. Go ahead.
I said I figured I'd let him give himself his own plug for the use of his video. Aaron did what?
Aaron stepped up last night and walked Zeus for me. He's been really cool the last couple days, ever since he and I had that talk about him and the way he talks to me and treats me, and it's been really nice.
Makes things a little easier, definitely.
Oh, well, yeah. And I told him, I said, avoiding me isn't necessarily treating me better. either. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's still that body language and shit there. So.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear about that thing I played about the officials, the city officials trying to plan the murder of two reporters?
No.
I played
What the?
I played one video of it yesterday, and I played about another video about it today. This guy was going to these city meetings, and all city meetings are supposed to be public.
Uh-huh.
He felt that they were having meetings in private, so he left a recording device in the room. And sure enough, they had a private meeting, and they were all talking about how they're going to kill these damn reporters.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, now the guy, I got it from,
Oh.
here's the deal, and he's live right now talking about it more.
Damn.
I'd like to show it, but I don't want him to think that I'm backing off his channel or whatever. You're roboting. Nope, you're still roboting.
I am?
Now you're not.
Fuck. I'm gonna go out.
All right. Well,
I don't know what to do with this thing.
yeah. I think I'm going to end this broadcast because I'm wanting to watch what he's having to say about what's going on about this murder plot. You're roboting again. All right, everybody. Thank you for spending your time with me. We'll be here tomorrow morning, same time, same bat channel. Everybody have a great day and a better tomorrow. Y'all take care. Bye.